What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Primetime Sports Podcast, hosted by Joey Mailari. So tonight, very special episode. This isn't usually my usual time slot. I'm usually Tuesday nights, 7 to 8, but since I will be gone tomorrow night, I had to do one more episode before I left. This is probably going to be my favorite episode. I can already tell from the beginning of it, considering we have 12 people in the studio right now. I think this will probably be my best one.
Oh, yeah.
Probably my favorite for sure already to start. I'm going to give a quick highlight of every single person in here. We have how many total there? 3, 6, 7 people total in the studio. We probably set the record for capacity in the studio, I'd say, since we're pretty much over it right now. It's usually about 3 or 4 people tops in here. We got 7. But you know what? Why not? For the best, it's for the best. Anyways, starting off all the way to the left, we have Ryan Phat Hosea. Hosea, one of the best rappers in Boston, the absolute GOAT. My cousin.
One of probably the best.
The best. I'd say the best. I'd say the best.
I'm kidding.
Literally.
Nah, you're up there, though. You already know that. My absolute boy, he plays baseball at St. Michael's College. He's a senior there right now. Looking forward to a big season from him. We're going to get into this season a little bit, probably about midway through, and we start talking baseball. He's also my cousin, so he's had to hear from me his entire life. So isn't he so lucky? Next up, we got Liam Kenney, and his nickname was the Hockey Icon. During the summer, he came on the podcast, came on and talked about Concordia, all their sports, and also talked about his ability to make so many connections at Concordia. He was able to go to the Super Bowl last year and work at SoFi Stadium, which was unreal. So
yeah, I'm lucky enough to go again this year, too, in Arizona. So I've been a lucky career so far.
He's lucky enough to see the Giants in the Super Bowl this year. I mean, come on,
I know,
see the Giants.
Wow, the Giants.
That's a bold take.
Well, we'll talk about those later.
He gets to see the Giants, so isn't he so lucky? So the Hockey Icon goes to school in Michigan, Concordia University in Ann Arbor. So thank you, Liam, for coming on.
Happy to be here.
To my right, we have Dan Behrens, the King of Hasbrouck Heights, here in the studio. Absolute legend. He's a senior here at BC, lives in the mods with me. Dan, say what's up.
What's going on?
Absolute legend. I mean, come on, this is quite a cast here.
Absolutely.
And then we do have some returners as well. Liam was on it during the summer on the podcast. Ryan Hosea, I think you came on. Did you come on once? James came on. Joey came on. You never did. All right, so this is actually his debut. So Phat Hosea's debut in the podcast. Liam's debut live on their air.
Oh, yeah.
Dan's debut in the podcast radio show. Either way. Jacob Cap Curley, he's been here. You guys know him very well from the episode with James Hosea. How are we doing, James? Jake. No. Jake.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm good.
I don't fucking
know. I'm good.
He's doing good.
All right, we're good.
I'm a man of few words. What the hell?
What do I?
Cap Curley, absolute legend. He's actually a college graduate now. Just graduated from Bridgewater State University. So congratulations to Cap.
Only one in the room.
Only one in the room. You're right.
Hopefully
You're
we'll all
right.
get there.
I have a diploma.
Hopefully you get some more, right? Why not? Right behind me, we have the GOAT, absolute legend, Mark Walsh. He's been on the show probably more than anyone. You're coming up. Don't worry, Pete. PG's coming up. Don't worry. The legend Mark Walsh probably's been on the podcast more than anyone besides the sports guru Mike Curley. I think you guys are up to 8 to 7 right now, maybe 9 to 8.
Love it.
You guys are on there more than anyone, but I appreciate you guys always coming on. So here's Mark. You guys know him very well.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on again, of course.
And check out his music. So I've talked about it a ton now on the podcast, a good amount. Time Zone, Mark Walsh, Phat Hosea, my favorite song, which Dan will tell you. How often do I play that song or sing about it?
Every day.
Every day. And I always, every single time I hear Ryan's first verse, I say, unreal. Don't I always say, dude, it's unreal. Every single time I'm like, dude, this is heat. Heat. So check out Time Zones on Spotify. Ryan's got a few albums up there. We're going to get into the music later on, too. We'll talk everything. He just had a concert, actually, last week in Vermont. So he's going to give the highlight of that. Also, who was at the concert, even though only 2 of us made it besides Ryan, it was Cap Curley, and then also the hockey prodigy Paul Guerard made it. He was there in Vermont.
How's everyone doing? I'd like to change my name to the Gambling Prodigy. Hockey Prodigy no more.
AKA Zeebs.
The gambling prodigy Paul Guerard. There you go. You heard it here first.
He wasn't that good at hockey anyway.
Ryan said he wasn't that good at hockey. Oh, that is tough. All right, so there you go. There's a whole breakdown of everyone in the room. So you guys got everyone's name now. You'll probably hear the most from Ryan Hosea, I'm sure. So we should keep his name down.
You'll probably hear more from my nose, bro. I'm sniffing like crazy.
I know, yeah. Good job. Thanks. So I'll just run down quickly the topics we'll talk about, and then we'll just start out. We're going to start out with hockey. So first thing we're going to talk about, get into the Bruins, talk some Islanders. Dan's a big Islanders fan. Then talk the NHL landscape. We'll jump into talking Northeast hockey for just a half a second. That's just for me and Mark, really. Mm-hmm. So everyone else in the room could just, I guess, quiet down for that 1 minute. We'll go off for a minute about Northeastern hockey, which you guys know. Then we'll talk about the Red Sox, the Mets, what they've both done in the offseason, or what the Red Sox haven't done in the offseason, I guess I should say. Then the MLB landscape, talk about what's been going on free agency. We'll get into a little bit of St. Michael's College. Ryan's going to give a preview of the season, talk about what he's expecting and how last season went. Then we'll also get into the Canes baseball glory days. Me, Liam, Ryan, all 3 of us were on the same team at one point. Hard to believe you'd have all 3 of us on a team, but we made it work, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yep. had a championship run, me and Ryan together. Then me and Liam probably should have won, but we're not
I
going
was
to
also
get
there for, I was also there for that run, but we'll forget that part.
Were you on the
In
team?
Salem? Yeah, that was my first year.
Were you on the team?
Yeah,
I
that was
forgot.
my first year.
Wow.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, who has the most rings at BCCS in the room? Me?
You.
Yeah, we
I
do.
only
I
had
have-
one.
I've
I
not-
only had one.
I
Were you
have
sick
none.
one season though? Was that the year you
That
were
was
sick?
the year I was sick.
Okay, that's why I forgot you were on
We
the team
got
because you were
swept-
sick
yeah,
for like
lost to
2
Salem,
months.
yeah.
I think I have
Just,
3. How many do you have?
Jacob was on the
Jacob,
team.
no, but he has a bunch of
Track and
Track.
cross.
Oh yeah, I have
Nice.
cross country. I got 2 or 3
Yeah.
cross.
I have one cross country and I have 2
two
baseball.
cross country, 1 track, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got 2 cross
I was the
country.
manager for the basketball team. But
That is
We never won. We never won. So don't
and
worry.
I played soccer for a year.
Yeah.
Basketball team never won, so we don't really got to worry about
USA
that.
actually wanted me to play for them in the World Cup.
We were also on
I just didn't have the time, honestly.
we were also on that robot building team. We have 1 ring for
Oh yeah,
that.
I was on robotics too. Robotics. I actually was the reason why robotics got put into state.
Never
Yeah,
forget,
you were.
Mr. Nelson. Never forget.
Absolute legend. Absolute legend. So
I don't want to hear that name again.
we'll get to Canes baseball.
Got Bo
Talk about
Jackson
that.
out here. Damn.
We'll get into Canes baseball, talk about that for a minute. Then we'll get into the NFL. Patriots Raiders game, tough one for the Patriots yesterday. We'll break that down for a few. Giants Commanders, that was a big win.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the Colts Vikings game. I don't know how the Vikings ended up coming back and winning
Oh,
that
my.
game, but they ended up
That
doing
was
it.
a crazy comeback.
And then talk about Jacksonville beating Dallas yesterday. Huge win there for my boy
yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
Big time.
Talk about the Patriots, Giants, NFL playoff picture. Maybe give some Super Bowl predictions since Liam will be there.
Yep.
Then we get into the Celtics, NBA. Talk about the Clippers for a second. I guess that'll be my time to shine for a minute. And then we'll get to some music. Obviously, and this isn't the complete order. We're going to really probably talk everything, probably in different orders. That's kind of how it happened with
We didn't even
James.
plan it last time.
No, we didn't plan it, but I gave at least an outline here since I felt bad having like 18 people come in and just not give you guys what I was going to talk about. So I figured it was the best idea. We'll get to some music, talking Phat Hosea, Mark Walsh. As I said, Time Zone. They have a song together. They have 2 actually. Reappear was their first one together on the Time Zone. Big fan of both songs. Jake's actually going to talk about making the music video for Time Zone. He was the genius behind that. So we'll talk about
I
that.
just had an iPhone.
Behind making the music videos, what I said. Did you not make it?
Ryan
Am I wrong?
storyboarded and concept the whole thing.
Okay, see,
we did help.
Mind you, this was during the
we all
pandemic, so I don't even know what
co-edited,
happened. I don't know
we
what
all
happened.
Jacob edited it.
Yeah, I did it.
And
Co-directed.
And no, he definitely was a big part of that.
Edited, co-directed, and Ryan drew all the concept and ideas of places where we should go, and Mark also did that.
Mind you, I
Yeah,
wasn't
Kevin
there.
Fitz.
So how would I know? I don't know how it went down. I just figured Jake made the video. It says Jake and the credit to Jake Curley. So
We all had a big part in it.
no, for
It
sure,
was just
for
fun.
sure, all the boys.
Mark,
Whatever
Mark,
gives
Mark
credit
didn't
to
do
Paul.
much.
Mark had the fit.
Mark just sat on the rock and played the guitar.
No one ever gives credit to Paul.
Paul gets the credit in my ass always.
Always.
PJ the GOAT, absolute legend. So we'll get to the music, talking about Ryan and Mark's music. Hopefully they have new music coming out soon. We'll talk about that. And then also maybe a Time Zone acoustic version, or if not, we'll play it live on air. Either one. We can do that live on air, which would be pretty sick. I want to show you guys what it sounds like in the studio because it sounds so clear and unreal on these speakers. Like, if a song sounds like a 9 out of 10, which I'm not saying Time Zone's like that, but this song's...
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Time Zone's a 10. Time Zone's a 10. Hold on. There are songs my siblings have said to play that I'm like, oh, this song's all right. It's like an 8, 9. I'm like, I'm not a big fan. You put it on in here, it's unreal. Everything's a 10. So when Time Zone's playing, it's probably like 13 out of 10.
Good answer. Good fix. Good fix there.
It wasn't something I meant to say. I should have prefaced. My siblings always have me play their songs in there. I'm never a big fan, or at least some of them, and they end up being heat in there. Songs sound great in there. Time Zone, you know I'm the biggest fan. Don't even stop that. You guys didn't know I listen to it. Don't even accuse me of that. You guys know I listen. Ask Dan how often I bring it up.
Wedding song is gonna be Time Zone.
Probably would
Probably.
be.
First
We find the
dance.
right one. We find the right one. We'll be there tomorrow. We'll find the right one. We'll be there tomorrow. You guys know.
Someone's gonna get married soon. I ain't been to a wedding yet.
Well, what happened?
Nah, I've never been.
You've never been to a wedding?
PG's got my
I
vote.
think
Yeah, Paul's got to lock down.
people know that I'm gonna eat. And that's why.
Yeah, no one has the money for
Why?
it. No one has the money for it, so that's another thing. So
James got the money for it. That's what probably about it.
I got $6 in my bank account.
I only
Last
got.
night, respect.
I probably only have $10 more. I only have $10 more probably. So you know what? We'll be on Mass F together. Man.
I
So
have
we'll be all right.
$5 million.
We'll be canning together.
Hey, you guys got to talk to the gambling prodigy.
Yeah.
We do talk to the gambling prodigy.
You don't need money advice from me.
Is there any water?
Take it. I
That's
actually
okay.
brought waters in because last time Jake was here, the kid couldn't even
I
talk.
was dying of
Couldn't even talk.
thirst.
He was dead. Anyway, so that's the whole breakdown of what we're going to talk about. Then maybe do some quick power rankings, quick questions at the end like I always do. So just to preface that, before we get there, since I know last time I did, and then people have to think about it for a minute or two, but maybe we're going to break down maybe our favorite top 3 Christmas songs, top 3 Christmas movies, stuff like that. So that'll be the end, though, but just so you can think about it on the way.
I can do
So we'll
that.
start off. The Boston Bruins. We'll start with the NHL.
I should have got that.
We just have big hockey fans in the room. Mark's the biggest Bruins fan I know besides the sports guru Mike Curley. You got Liam in there. You got Paul in there. Ryan's played hockey. Me, Dan, Jake, and Mark, the only ones that did not play hockey in the room. But Mark follows it a lot. Dan follows it a lot. I follow the Bruins. I follow college hockey a little more. And then we just got Jake here just to talk some hockey. Why not?
I'm just here.
He's just a Boston sports guy here. So Really quick update. Dan's got me here showing me the Bruins score 5-3 Bruins. They started out 4-0. It was right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 in the first.
Against Spencer Knight.
It was looking scary.
That was 5-3. So good for the Bees. It's pretty good.
5-3. Insurance goal big.
Third
Krejci.
period.
So
Should be, I think.
Bruins are the best team in hockey.
Yep.
yeah, we're stuck Bruins. So what do you guys
Finest team.
think? What's the opinion of the season? We'll go around.
Yeah,
Whoever wants to talk, go. Ryan, start. Talk to us about the season.
Team I've ever seen in my life, other than the ones I was on.
Cap.
Me and Paul were on one.
They were true.
And,
That's true.
I had a few games where I didn't play the full 3 periods because I got kicked out a couple times. But no, yeah, this is the best Bruins team we've seen in our lives.
Any team that has Charlie Coyle is not that good.
Wow.
He's very
Well,
much
he scored tonight.
He's very much
From the
improved.
same town.
Haha, Weymouth born, baby.
Easy.
Weymouth born.
Easy. South Shore Hospital.
I should have
Yeah,
given
right.
I should have given a quick intro of where everyone was from. I mean, most people are Dorchester and here, but we got Liam, Hyde Park. I mean, Middleton.
Hyde Park.
Hyde Park,
Oh,
actually.
whoa.
Hyde Park,
Come on
Massachusetts.
now.
Sorry, Hyde Park, Massachusetts. Dan Hasbrouck Heights, as I said. I think me obviously from Southie, and then the other 4 Dorchester.
Oh yeah,
So
Dan's from Jersey.
he is big
Oh,
Giants
Joyce.
fan. So
Right.
he's got one of the teams right at least.
Giant Styles.
There you go. All 3 down. Not a Knicks fan, so I mean,
I mean, when
Knicks
you
won
have,
8 in a row.
when you have 2 to pick and it's the Giants and Jets, I think if you pick the Giants, you're a good man.
Yeah.
okay, that's kind of
Better,
so
two,
like
better,
the
two,
Giants.
better 2 evils there.
It's out of those 2 teams. I mean, gotta be the Giants. You know.
You're a good man if you pick the Giants.
So we'll start with the Beast. Ryan, you said they're the best team in hockey, the best team you've ever seen. Liam,
Yeah,
how do you
Bees.
feel?
Yeah, they're one of the deepest teams. Our center group is just so strong with Krejci. We have Bergeron. We also have Holla. We have a lot of guys who are just working hard on the ice. Coyle, we were talking about that goal. I feel like just across the board, everyone knows their job. Jim Montgomery has been really good at communicating what they need to do to succeed, and it seems like they've been doing what they got to do. And it seems like we just got to keep doing that moving forward. And if we can keep this continuous creation of the team together and just building and just keep going, it's going to be hard to keep this momentum going. I know a lot of us, we've played sports where you play off really strong, you go hard, and it's hard to keep that tempo because you don't know what to keep building on. You're just so successful. You feel like you can't do anything wrong. You have high hopes for yourself. So I feel like you just got to keep in perspective. There's a lot more hockey games.
I mean, but it was really hard for me to like balance on that milk crate during Score Boston during those days. That was crazy. I had to motivate myself. OD.
Did you even ever use a stick?
I did. I used it. Yes, I
Did you ever
did.
make it to the stick side?
Yeah. I didn't do it like I wasn't professional, but like I was just there. I kind of just showed up.
I like doing that lemon drill.
I'm saying
That was crazy.
that was OD.
When that guy pulled up in the Maple Leaf stuff, that's how I knew it was going to get serious.
We played at the Garden.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I wouldn't say I played. I wouldn't say I played.
I'll say
Jacob was on the ice.
skated at the
Yeah,
Garden.
Jacob was there.
I didn't say we skated.
Jake wants to
Yeah,
play.
skated might be a
We
stretch.
skated
too.
in hockey equipment, and there were pucks.
Yeah, there was just equipment. There just so happened to be equipment there.
Yeah.
We were just
Equipment was involved. There were referees. It was supposed to be a game.
Yeah, for sure. No, I like it. Mark, opinion on the Bees this year.
Yeah, I'll talk about the Bruins. I think the best part of the team right now, I mean, they're obviously on super hot streak to start the year, and they're keeping the ball rolling, is like everyone's engaged. You know, you look at the team, you look at the guys that are scoring, contributing. Carlo's first goal of the year tonight, you know, the defensemen have stepped up. Clifton stepping into the play tonight, getting a goal as well. It just feels like everyone's contributing, you know, and you move a guy like Taylor Hall down to the third line, and he says, you know, put his head down, go to work. Doesn't care, you know, if he's getting a third line shift or if he's playing first line minutes, you know, he just wants to help the team win. And I think that's the mentality that this entire group has. You know, they're all playing for each other.
Yeah.
But like Liam said, you know, it is really hard to keep momentum going when you're starting really hot. But I think they're doing the right things every game. You saw a team like the Celtics, you know, who also started the season great, and they've kind of tailed off the last few games, which has been rough to watch, you know, as a Boston sports fan. But you just hope the Bruins can kind of keep the ball rolling and continue the right behaviors and everything else.
Sorry, hold on here. We had a little technical difficulty with the mic, but it goes right back
I thought I
in.
was getting smoked.
Nah, you good.
Is Zaka up to the second line right now?
Yeah, Zaka's
right now,
second
yeah.
line wing with Krejci and Pasta right now,
Gotcha.
and he's been doing great. He's been a very good playmaker for them, penalty killer as well. He's been a very solid pickup.
Yeah, I actually love that trade because, I mean, Hall is, what is he, like 30 now?
Yeah,
And getting Zaka back 1-for-1, they might have thrown in a pick too, but Zaka makes the team younger. I think that's one of my concerns with the team. They've shown they've shown that they've been very strong. Obviously, I mean, leading the league, the entire NHL right now, and everything's been technical from what I've seen. Just very, very smart hockey. But my one concern is 3 of probably their top 4 or 5 offensive production is coming from Krejci, Marchand, Bergeron.
Yeah.
And you don't know how those legs are going to last the entire season. I mean, Marchand's shown that he can last the full season, but with him and Bergeron and Krejci being up there in age, you just don't really know what's going to come in April and then playoffs.
Yeah.
You just hope that they can keep the production going.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing with the Bees. I think this year is they have so much depth. I think it's probably the deepest Bruins team they've had in
Absolutely.
our
100%.
lifetime.
They're
Just so deep. But
They've
Dan's
struggled
right.
with secondary scoring for years.
Yes, that's the
Like
thing.
they're getting from everywhere.
No,
right now.
everyone's scoring, and that's one thing. And I think at the end of the day, which I talked at the beginning of the season, I thought Hampus Lindholm was the most valuable player on the team.
Oh, yeah.
I think, honestly, even though, obviously, if you look at it, people would say Bergeron, Pasta, Marchand are probably the three best. I think Lindholm's the most valuable. Not always the best player, the most valuable. Sometimes it does line up like that. But I think he's the most valuable player on the team. I think having him be in the first defensive pairing, whether it's him with also McAvoy, you split them up. So at the end of the day, obviously, that's a decision you have to make. And it seems like they've either been together or split. I mean, it's like 50-50. Sometimes they're together, sometimes they're not. And obviously, that depends on the way things shake out in the opponent. But I liked what I've seen from the Bruins this year. Very deep team, obviously, and they haven't really hit a wall yet like the Celtics have. I mean, they've had a couple games that they probably shouldn't have lost. But for the Celtics, though, I talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. I saw the Celtics team having a problem at some point because of how reliant they got on three-point shooting.
Yeah.
They're not going to shoot 50% from three every single night. You're going to play a team like the Clippers, very good perimeter defensive team. They're not going to let you shoot threes wide open. They're going to be in your face every time they let you shoot. And at the end of the day, you're going to have cold nights where you shoot 20% from three, 15, 20, 35% from three, and you're not going to be shooting 40 and up every single night. So that's one thing I saw from the Celtics. I knew they would hit a wall at some point. I think for the Bruins, I mean, they get so much scoring from so many guys. I don't know if it's going to hit as hard. But obviously, it's a long season, and things are not going to always play out. But I want to get Paul's take on the Bees this year and how they've been playing.
I'm not going to lie. I haven't been watching them. And I haven't been watching them this whole season. And
keep not watching.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Come on. You got to keep it going.
It sounds like that's ironic because it's one of their best seasons ever. But, like, I don't want to start watching them. I want to start watching them because they might end up losing because when I started watching them. So
hey, here's the thing though. We go see UMass Lowell. UMass Lowell, very good hockey team. We were at that Northeastern UMass Lowell game.
better
Obviously,
than Northeastern.
UMass Lowell got the win that night. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, which I didn't get you on the pod to talk about it, maybe when you came about James and we talked about it for a second. UMass Lowell's power penalty kill, electric.
Oh,
I've never seen a team with.
Easily.
I don't know anyone seen UMass Lowell play. I know me, Jake, and Mark were at that game this year, which I can describe it. Liam probably is going to know what I'm talking about here, just talking about the strategy. But they want you to turn the puck over, and then they just go. They don't care if they're down. They can be down a guy.
They're more aggressive.
5-on-4.
They're more aggressive when they're on the penalty kill than they are.
They want to score. They actually want to score.
Then when they're on the power play.
They'll be down a guy, maybe 5-on-3. They even got some offensive production.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, God, we got a penalty. That's great. And
And they
sometimes
score.
like then the other team gets a penalty. I'm like, oh no.
They want you to like pass it around.
Yeah, a lot of teams. I've seen Lowell. I've definitely seen their power play this year. I mean, the penalty kills this year. What they do is they're real aggressive. Like you guys are saying, they want to have the puck. They're forcing you. A lot of teams allow the power play to formulate, and they kind of just build a wall in the neutral zone while they're sending that guy hard on the puck every time and forcing them. And they run a really aggressive box where if that guy's not looking at you or that puck's bouncing, they're going for it. They want that puck every time, and they're trying to go the other way with it. So I think on top of that, and they don't use the icing, like the no icing on PKs really at all. They like to try to move the puck themselves.
They want to score. They want to score.
And communication's huge. Like you guys were at the game, you guys can definitely know that PK is probably the loudest you've ever heard at any team. They're screaming, and that makes it so much easier because no one has to think, and you're just doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're trying to score. And one thing I want to highlight on the podcast, which I've never talked about, but at some point I want to do it. Paul's men's league hockey games. I'm a huge fan of going to. I want to recap games on here. I want to recap games on here. Come up to you after the game, get some quotes, and we just talk about it.
Actually,
I scored last time.
So actually, something
I love his hockey games. I actually want to talk about them. I do.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm joking. I actually want to come on here and talk about what
Yeah,
happened.
so actually you saying that 2 years ago we had it. We had to take a break off with my my internship in the Cape, but we're hoping this year to bring back the High Park Hounds. Hopefully we can get us on here, maybe
Summer
talk
League
about
hockey
that.
team.
Yeah, Summer League hockey team. We're hoping to play somewhere between the Cape and Boston this year. We had a really good season. Well, we had a fun season. The wins definitely didn't come our way in our first season, but hopefully we can find a better league placement for us and be a little more successful.
Because I was on a 2A contract.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we needed you more.
Play every game. That's why. If I played every game, we would have had wins.
Yeah, we just got a Phat Hosea on a jersey.
I also only got to play for like a total of like 15 minutes because my feet hurt so bad.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get you real skates this year.
I ended up being a
no kid size.
At the end.
That was a tough call.
Kids at a yard sale, so he's good this year.
Oh, word. I'm gonna start taking men's league seriously.
No more skating malfunctions. No more.
Yeah, because when you did, you actually got goals.
Yeah, I'm gonna start taking it seriously. I'm gonna grind in the gym for men's league. I'm not grinding for baseball. Yeah, I'm grinding for men's league.
Joel, were you there when he scored the goal? Like, were you watching?
No, I was.
I think I was going when it
during men's league.
I was literally like.
During men's league, I went to a good amount of games. I don't know if I was there for that one. I did go to a game you were playing. No, I was there. I was there when you did score.
But you and
I was there.
Were like walked away.
We would go to the vending machine or something. Yeah, but I was
when he
there.
scored, I was like.
I was there. I think. Yeah.
I just tucked it right in between.
He was about to score at the end too, and I wouldn't let him because he would have had more goals than me. So I'm
gonna break like the Massachusetts men's league record. For most goals.
So I'm not joking.
I'll be the statistician guy.
Dude, yeah, I'm gonna do the podcast. I'm just gonna recap games.
I'll be the interviewer.
I'll be the broadcaster. Should I? Can we live stream games? I was broadcasting.
We can figure it out.
I should film
from the blue line.
Prime time podcast, home of your High Park Hounds.
Yeah, why not?
Come on.
I already got a ring to it.
That's perfect. Come on now.
I already got a ring to it. Already got a ring. So I'm
They have
set.
stacky.
We could have a show
they have
too, like
stacky
behind the beat, like Meet the Pups or something.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like it.
I go into
I
the
like it.
go into the studio with each one of you. We talk. Each one, we break down the
We got some
career,
good
how you
stuff.
guys got to the team, what your contract's like, if it was a two-way or.
I had the
two-way.
Instagram page for the team.
I'm hoping I hit the one way this year. I hope they want me this year.
Yeah.
We'll talk it after the podcast.
We'll get there. We're gonna see what
management's anything like the
we'll see what the
Red
cap space looks like.
Contract details.
One thing you guys haven't seen before is me playing hockey. And I've told you guys give me a stick. I'm turning into
the
Ovechkin.
Ovi.
I'm turning into Ovechkin. I'm turning into Ovi. No one's seen me play
We
hockey.
should talk about that. Ovi's one looks like he is like 97.
But he's still scoring. He's still scoring.
Still scoring 20 goals this year.
He's so close to Gretzky, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a few away, right?
It's like almost like 100 or something.
Close to-
but it's still like
Yeah, it's about 100 goals away, yeah.
It's like fathomable kind of.
Less, a little less.
I think it's less. Yeah.
Gretzky has 897,
Couple
Ovechkin
seasons.
just scored 800.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it's crazy.
So 97.
Right there,
That's
yeah.
crazy because everyone for the longest time was like, no one's gonna score more than Gretzky.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, those are video game numbers.
If he
Like,
plays
that's
2 years,
crazy.
he
Like,
might actually hit.
Yeah.
Also, I really like the fact that he is doing so good because everyone always talks about like, oh, if Gretzky played during like hockey now, like he wouldn't be that good. So it's kind of like obvious Ovechkin's better at hockey than Wayne Gretzky. I'm saying that.
I wouldn't
I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know
It's
about that.
obvious.
I think I'll say this. The point total. If Gretzky never scored a goal, he'd still have the most points of all
Yeah,
time.
all the assists.
And I know the competition's different and everything like that, but it's not like competition from like the 1930s where it's like accountants are playing basketball and it's against Wilt Chamberlain or you know what I mean.
Gretzky's the GOAT.
It's
I don't know.
it's
Gretzky's the
different.
GOAT.
Hockey evolves,
Yeah.
you know? And
No, it
it's
definitely
harder
does.
today than it is yesterday, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a little to summarize it, but like it was different last year than it is this year. So I feel like if you have
Gretzky used a wooden stick. A wooden stick.
I think every game evolves with every single sport, right? Baseball in the 50s is different than it is now. I mean,
it was a
That explains a lot.
A wooden Easton EQ50.
I had a Sherwood.
No,
They
Featherlight. The
wood one.
Featherlight Sherwood was a stick.
Yeah.
I'll
Got
say
that at
this.
Beantown Sports, baby.
Had a nasty
I'll say
curve.
this: Gretzky, like I feel like undeniably is like hockey's GOAT, you know. But I think if Ovechkin passes Gretzky for the goals record, I think he's the best goal scorer of all time. I think people can still say that now, but I think it would be a great thing for the game. It would bring a lot of attention. When he's really getting up there, like
think
he's
he's
like
gonna do
5-10 goals away. I think he will. I don't think he'll stop playing until he does.
Yeah,
I think he still has like 3 years left on his contract. So
I
I
hope
think
he-
3
yeah.
years,
I hope
3
he
years
doesn't
scoring
pull a
100.
Yager,
That's
though.
certainly possible.
What is it?
I hope he doesn't pull a Yager.
Yager still plays. He's like 50.
Yeah, Yager's
plays
still
somewhere.
playing over
Russia,
he
is
won't
it?
do
Or-
that.
And
Yeah, he
Yager
owns his own team. He owns
In
his
Russia,
own-
right? He
Yeah.
plays something?
I don't believe it's Russia. It's somewhere. Maybe it is Russia.
I don't know. He's playing somewhere since like
Maybe
49 or
a lot of
something.
Russian
Still
guys.
scoring.
Yeah, a lot of
Still
Russia.
scoring.
A lot.
Yeah,
of
Russia.
I
Yager's a
remember
powerhouse.
going to the Garden and like walking in and seeing Jaromir Jagr play once. And I was just like, dude, there's no way this guy is still in the NHL. I was like, I've seen videos of this guy rocking a nasty mullet. and like,
From, like, the 90s,
scoring
yeah.
like nasty goals, yeah. And now this guy's like scrubbing it on the third line for the Bruins. Like,
Do you know why
He's
he
money.
came back to the NHL and why he's still playing hockey though? I mean, one, it's for the love of the game,
I
but
have-
do you
I
know
have-
why he came back to the
I have
NHL?
my
He lost all of his
guesses.
money gambling.
Oh yes, I did.
The gambling prodigy, PG.
Wouldn't have been me.
Never Paul. Never Paul.
Paul's men's league career.
The gambling prodigy. Yeah, it's no longer the hockey project, the
They're not
gambling
full.
one.
Pete
But
Rose bet on his own team. That's all I'm saying.
I know that's tough. Yeah, I don't want to lose. Don't want to lose. Tell him the line. Say it again. Say it again.
Best lyricist.
No, I keep it 300 like I'm Pete Rose.
That's gonna be Instagram caption one day. It's listed on my 650 Instagram captions.
Over a lot of people's heads.
Yep.
Dude, it's in my
Pete Rose's career hit over 300. Like, that's wicked hard to do, obviously.
definitely, yeah, not many have. Yeah.
And you know I keep it 100. Everyone says that. So I was like, how can I change this up a little bit? And you know me, smart as ever. Googling stuff. I did Google that, though. I had to Google it. I was like, I knew I was going to do Pete Rose.
Just messing with you.
I knew it was going to be Pete Rose because that's what the rhyme was. I just had to figure out what I was going to say after. So I just Googled his stats, and I was like, oh, this
You
works.
got there, though.
Yeah.
And that sound of the bat, like hitting a ball.
Yes, that's what's
It's actually
satisfying.
from Pete Rose hitting. It's a YouTube video. Me and Mark did it on purpose.
Yep.
We looked for so long to try to get one.
I told them to put that in.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Paul thinks he is the reason why every single song me and Mark makes becomes good.
I believe it.
Because he'll walk in the room while we're doing the thing that he wants us to do, and then take credit for it. Be like, "Oh, you should change that." As Mark or me is like changing it.
Yeah.
Like doing the exact thing.
The Zuckerberg of music.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And it's usually something really obvious, though. That's why it makes me the most mad. It's like something wicked obvious that anyone could come in the room and say, that's why it's not good right now.
He's like
it makes me so mad because then it's like fixed after, and he's like, yeah, see?
It sounds better, dude. It sounds better.
I actually like a lot of your lyrics that are about sports. You always have heat ones. You have that one. A ball like I'm Grayson, not Indiana, but a Payson.
Yeah,
I mean, that's unreal. That's heat, dude. Oh,
That's the first line I ever wrote and recorded as Phat Hosea.
I'm balling like I'm Grayson, not Indiana, but a Payson.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
first
Oh,
line.
wait.
What about the Constitution rap?
That wasn't Phat Hosea. That was me.
Or you have other ones. Balling up in Boston, like my name is Ennis Cantor.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was nice. That was nice.
That
Wasn't it
one
before
was
the
fire.
train
That one was
too?
fire.
Yeah.
And we had him
Yeah,
twice.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
use it as a
He
caption
came
either
back.
time. It
He
was
changed
bad.
his name, though. He changed his name, which was a tough go.
Yeah, it was.
But that still works. Still heat.
Still works.
Streams went down when he changed his name.
Still a heat song, though. Still a
I
heat
gotta
song.
release a revised version.
Yeah.
You
I'm
do.
kind of mad that Coffee Breath got taken off of Spotify.
Dude, that song
Yeah.
was so good.
That was a good
really
song.
I listened to that, and then one day I was like, why can't I listen to this anymore? And then you
Yeah,
said that
that
it
was-
got
that was so
copyrighted or
annoying.
something.
Yep.
Dude, and it like blew up on Apple Music.
Didn't that girl
the
give you
week.
permission to use
Yeah, bro. She said I could use the sample, and then it blew up on Apple Music, and her management was like, "You guys gotta take it down."
I love this. This is awesome. Just talking music. Why not? I love it. This is unreal.
What, did you like sample some song and like they
Yeah, it was like this TikTok song that like went viral, and I found the beat on YouTube. It was like sampled. It was like slowed down, and everything. So like honestly, I didn't even have to ask her if I could use it. I could have just did it. But I asked her because I like wanted to respect the fact that it was hers, and she was like, "Yeah, it's fine. Like, let me know when you release it and everything." And then I released it. It got huge on Apple Music on the first week. It had like 1,000 streams like within the first like 3 days, which never happens for my songs. And it was just like crazy. And then it got taken down, and I was like, "Yo, what happened?" She was like, "Yeah, my management wanted it down."
Screw them then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
they're
she was
lost.
like,
They're lost.
It was cool though because she was like, "We can like set something up though, like for like an actual feature."
Huh.
So. Never happened though. I was pretty pissed.
Not your fault, though.
It's a tough go.
Yeah, it's still on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not your fault.
The
right?
problem was I was gonna start making money from it because of
The streams got so high, right? Yeah.
Like it's. I
So they
wouldn't
wanted
have
to
made
chip.
that much money.
Yeah.
Not enough for
But as soon as
Not
money gets
enough, not enough
involved,
for them to like.
Isn't it like 3 cents per like 1,000 plays or something? Like gets to a degree
Yeah,
of
it's-
3 to like
yeah,
3
so
for 100 or something.
every
it depends on the
Stream is
app as well.
Okay,
Every
I think
stream-
Spotify's like 3
every
for
stream
like
on
something, 3
Spotify is
cents.
0.003 cents a stream.
So
which
you
is
need like 1,000
crazy.
streams for it to be 3
Yeah,
cents.
If you get 1 million streams, you get paid $4,000.
Video.
Wow.
That's like crazy to think about. Like 1 million streams is a lot of streams.
Yeah.
And you get $4,000.
Yeah, it's not.
Like
It's
that's
not right.
that's how much the Ultima.
Wow.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When it was going down.
I think New Year's resolution you guys should make is making new music together and
Yes.
going back to the studio.
Yes, I double down on that.
Think about
There's
it,
great
like
acoustics
time
in here.
zone.
You can come in here anytime and work. No joke. We don't have to be live on air.
Yeah, the acoustics aren't bad.
Wait until I play a song in here. You can plug it into the computer and play it. It's going to sound unreal. Unreal.
Yeah,
As I said, any song, like Sibley, I said, but the songs are all right. I'm like, yeah, it's a good song, but Paul's like, I play this. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll play it. It's all right. Unreal when you play it in here. Unreal.
Yeah, those monitors look insane.
There's multiple songs I can tell you about that are unreal and maybe I'll play it for you guys. I'll surprise you. You guys will
Another
be
fun
psyched.
fact I'll say about streaming is you notice a lot of artists today, like especially big artists like Jay-Z, I think Beyonce as well, they're big advocates for a streaming app called Tidal. It's just like a Spotify or an Apple Music. But
Jay-Z
the
does
reason,
own title, I think,
the reason that they are such big advocates for it is because the payouts for streams are so much higher for artists, and so much more money goes to the artist per stream, which makes the app more expensive. Obviously, a Spotify monthly membership is going to be less, but you see a lot of apps that are, or a lot of artists that are trying to advocate for people to switch to title and things like that for that reason.
Would you guys switch?
Yeah.
I mean, as a listener, I think Spotify is a great experience.
Yeah, I like Spotify.
But for artists,
I've tried Apple Music. I didn't like it. I think it's cool that on Spotify, like, you can see how many streams people get. Like,
yeah, I think all
the
those
one
things
thing
are
I
great.
don't like is, like, on Apple Music, you go on there and all the songs are right there. Like, you don't really have to, like,
Look for them in playlists and whatnot. That's
on
true.
Spotify, you get the top 5, and then you kind of gotta, like, go through the whole discography if you want to find a single that's on an album or something.
That's true.
No, I get that. My mom just texted me "Foreign Cause." That's her favorite song of yours. Which
What?
my mom is your biggest fan. Number one. I would say number one.
She is.
She wakes up. I told you this the other day. Was it yesterday? Right?
Yeah.
When you put out an EP, you were still at Lipscomb, so I think it was my senior high school, your freshman year, right, of college. And you put out probably an EP, let's say at midnight. I didn't know that you were putting it out at midnight or whatever. I wake up in the morning, 6:30, 6 a.m. My mom's tapping me, waking me up. Like, dude, what are we doing? I look at my phone. It's like 6 o'clock. I'm like, dude, what are we doing, Mom? And she's like, hey, Ryan, put out new music. Ryan, put out new music. I go into the kitchen. My dad's there listening. My mom's listening. Everyone's up in the house listening. I'm like, dude, what are we doing at 6 a.m.?
No,
my mom is your biggest fan. Number one.
Anytime I release something, I know for a fact that the Mail Area House is talking about it.
Yeah,
It's bumping.
That's the
Yeah,
first
and
stream.
I-
First stream.
Yeah, my first like text usually when I drop something is Jay maybe being like another one like you're goated like.
I am your biggest fan, I'd say. Besides my mom's number one though. I don't know if anyone can top that though, because she gets a notification at 6 a.m. She's up listening. She gets up. She's ready to go. She's huge. She knows all the lyrics too. She knows all the lyrics too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I love it. But we'll transition back into sports. I need to get Dan's opinion on the Islanders. Dan, Isles hockey. Then I know Mark, Liam. They can talk about them a little bit too.
Islanders probably have
Hosey.
the second best jerseys in the NHL.
Who was the first?
The Coyotes.
I'm with that. Hey, Sharks. Sharks number one.
The Coyotes have the best
Sharks are
uniforms, but they
elite.
don't even have a home.
That
rink.
is the biggest take you've ever taken, and it is the wrong take.
The Sharks are the best logo. Number one logo.
I like the Sharks logo. Yeah.
It's elite.
And
Number one
their
logo.
colors are good.
Yeah.
Their jerseys are sick. I like the black one that has like the big shark.
Yes,
on it.
right in the front.
So
Elite.
sick.
Elite. Dan Isles though. Let's hear it.
Yeah, one more thing I wanted to say about the Bees before. This is Olmark's best year of his career by far,
No
like
question.
light
No question.
years ahead of any other year. So like that's my other concern, that he might regress later in the year, as he starts to get more fatigued throughout the year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I feel like that would be a problem, but I also feel like that with someone under him as young and as talented physically and technically gifted as Swayman is, like in the crease, he's real aggressive as a young goalie. I feel like that he's going to be able to learn from Olmark. Mm-hmm. And yes, I feel like Olmark definitely will degress. There's no way he can keep playing at the skill level. I think Swayman's going to be able to pick up some of that slack. So I feel like that, yes, it's going to... His goals expected is definitely going to go lower, but I think Swayman's is going to off-put that, and it's going to be pretty even as a strong duo for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing, too, is when Swayman was injured for about a month, I want to say, or at least a few weeks, Olmark played, like, every game in that stretch except for one. They brought in Keith Kincaid against the Rangers on a back-to-back. And so Olmark's games played right now are higher than, like, any goalie in the league. And I think there's obviously pros and cons to that because, going down the stretch, having played more games, that fatigue factor. But I think it was really good for him to get all those reps early in the year while the Bruins were playing great hockey in front of him because, it looks like and feels like that he's putting together, a Vezina campaign. And I know the Bruins have their sights set on different trophies and whatnot. And so ultimately it will matter how he plays most when it comes down to the playoffs. But I think, as long as the Bruins continue to play the style of hockey they're playing in front of him, great defensive hockey and, putting up goals every night and everyone's contributing. I have faith that Omar can keep it together down the stretch. But like Liam said, I think it's very important for Swayman to continue playing well as well. I mean, he had a great game the other day, almost scored too. Swayman was about like less than half a foot away from a goalie goal on top of, it was like more than 4 goals saved above expected if you looked at like the advanced stats behind his performance. So I love seeing both goalies are doing great right now.
Yeah, it never hurts to have competition, I think, in any sport, right? Competition
never.
helps. Competition helps you get better.
And these guys,
having both those guys being as good as they are helps.
Yes.
And those guys are rooting for each other. I mean, they made the goalie hug that happens after every win. I mean, you love to see it.
They did in the men's world championship, the IIHF thing. They did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
cool.
they started that trend, and I mean, these two guys love each other. They're rooting for each other to play out of their skulls, and they've been playing great. So I'm hoping. I mean, if Omar can continue playing as good as he's been, he will be the guy come playoff time. Last playoff, it didn't feel like we knew who the guy was, you know. But both these guys are good, so it's just if he can keep it up, you know, that'll be huge. I mean, any team that's going to go on a run, you've got to have stellar goaltending in this league. You know, it's just not going to happen if you don't. But yeah,
was it you earlier who said he was reminding you of Tim Thomas?
No, it was me. Yeah, no, I feel like he's being that guy. A lot of people talk to Tim Thomas like people called him the only goalie ever to be a rat, and I feel like Omar's playing. He's very aggressive in the crease. He comes out really like rat, as in like let's for example in the Winter Classic he smoked that guy and ended up hurting us getting scored on. Like punched the guy in the crease and pushed him out of the way because he was getting a little close for the screen.
He's aggressive, yeah.
Yeah, but Omar's the same way. He's aggressive playing the puck behind the net. He communicates. He'll move the puck forward to try to move the play quickly. He's very confident and a very strong goaltender, and I feel like he's emulating Tim Thomas, and I'm hoping that's going to lead to hopefully another strong Stanley Cup run.
Definitely. I'm with that. So, Dan, Isles, we got to hear some things about the Isles. I mean, we're only talking beach. We love the beach. We don't not want to talk other teams, too. Dan's a big Isles guy, so we have to talk about Isles. So, let's hear some Isles talk.
Yeah.
Isles are the whole NHL landscape. So.
Yeah. Isles are definitely a very interesting team right now because, I mean, they don't have that same firepower like the Bees. Like their top line right now for tonight's game is Barzal playing with Josh Bailey and Oliver Wallstrom, which is nuts to think about.
Wallstrom from that?
Former BC Eagle. BC.
He has.
He only went for 1 year.
Yeah, he went here for 1 year.
Yeah, he also is. I don't know if anyone remembers from the mini threes for the Bruins.
Yeah, mini one-on-one.
He was the one who picked it up on the stick, did a full 360, and scored top
Did
shot.
you see that video?
Yep, that was him.
I'll show you that after this. It's awesome.
He committed 2 months later. 2 months later, he committed to BC.
How old was he?
15,
I believe
14.
No, younger.
Younger.
I
think it was like 13,
11. I think he was 11 or 12. He had to be super young to be on the yeah,
I knew he committed
mini
early.
threes. It's like it's youth hockey.
I thought he committed to
I was like 13.
Harvard.
I don't think so. Not to my
I thought he switched it like when he got older, but I don't know.
Maybe he did. I don't know.
Maybe who?
Possible.
Yeah.
Get
Get a little fact check going.
Yeah, I'll make sure we get it right. But Dan, keep talking to us while I'm looking.
But yeah, like so outside of like Barzal, Brock Nelson, Anders Lee, I mean, Wallstrom has a ton of potential, but they don't have that same firepower. So they just have a ton of guys who would be in like normal teams' middle six, where it's like they can hang with like a ton of teams like the Bruins that they played last week. They were in that game, lost in a shootout. Joey and I were actually at that game up in the balcony.
That was a good one.
It was a great game to go to. But this team, it's like they'll be in the game against basically anyone in the NHL. I actually pulled up the stat. They
not the Bruins, where I said.
Oof, I don't know about that one. But,
let's hear the stat though. You good?
Yeah. So this was as of like a week ago, before they lost to the Bruins. But it says that if you bet $100 on all 16 games that the Islanders were the favorite, you would be down $47. But if you bet $100 on every time they were the underdog, you would be up $361.
Wow.
So
they're dogs. They're dogs.
So it's like that just shows that like they don't have that firepower where they could just demolish a bad team like the Coyotes. They just got smoked by the Coyotes a few days ago, and then they turned around and beat the Golden Knights the next day. So it's like this is a team where they're not going to be super consistent against bad teams, but I mean. Any day that they go out there, they're going to be in the game. So I don't know what that means for this year. I mean, because last year they were pretty horrible. I mean, they were pretty horrible.
But they had the whole fiasco of the arena not being done until week 6 of the season or something.
Yeah, a lot of outside.
And then they had COVID twice, right? You had 2 stretches.
Yeah,
where
they got
so
absolutely killed with COVID because they were like the first team to have like 6+ guys out with COVID, and the NHL didn't know what to do. So they kind of just like made the Islanders keep playing their games. And then, like, the next team that had a COVID problem, they're like, all right, you're going to have, like, your next 5 games canceled. Yeah, so it was like the Isles kind of got killed with that. But also, I mean, they just did not perform against bad teams. So I'm not going to blame it all on that. And it's going to be interesting this year because, I mean, Adam Pelech, I think one of the top defensive defensemen in the league right now.
He's very good.
Absolutely,
He's been out.
He's banged up, right? Yeah.
He's been out. He was out against the Bruins. He's been out for probably, I want to say, since maybe 2 weeks.
Beauvillier was out.
Beauvillier was out. Palmieri's been out. He just got hurt again yesterday. And fourth liner Clutterbuck's been out. So they're gonna have to deal with some injuries, but it's given some guys like Hudson Fasching, some dude who has like 20 career games in the NHL, but over like 5 years, had an absolutely filthy goal yesterday where he brought the puck into the crease, quick deke through the legs. So he's been playing very well, so he's gonna get a lot more playing time. We'll see what happens this year. I mean, Sorokin's been interesting this year because first 20 games, I saw something that said like he was second in the league in high impact save percentage.
He was on fire, yeah. And
then last 5-6 games, he's been near the bottom of the league in that stat. So he's kind of been playing. Maybe he's been playing too much because this year, as opposed to previous years, the coaching's put him out there for 4 or 5 games, 5 or 6 games. So I guess Varlamov's going to have to pick up more of that slack, and he actually just got hurt yesterday. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, the injury has been killer. I think you were talking about Sorokin. I feel like it's tough to really put it on him because you talked about Clutterbuck and you talked about Pelech being out. Those are two. Palmieri, a lot of big guys who are really strong defensively. We saw Palmieri a lot with the Devils play really strong defense, like Zaka, you were talking about Zaka earlier.
Good offense.
Yeah, it's tough with injuries. You got to find guys who can fill those roles, and you're able to with that guy you mentioned who only had those 20 games, but it's hard to find the pieces when you have the injuries, and you can't expect Sorokin to stand on his head every day. Yeah. Like we can't expect Mark to keep playing how amazing he is.
Yeah, it's true.
Definitely, I think we rely on that as well.
Exactly.
Northeastern relies on Devin Levi to go 3-1 every single game. It just hasn't worked this season, obviously. Yeah. But that's the thing. We rely on your goalie a lot of time, especially when they're so good. You want them to only give up a goal a game because that's just what you're used to, and that's what expectations typically are. But obviously, they're gonna have an off night and give up 4 goals. One thing to fact check. Ryan did drill it. He did commit originally to Harvard. Originally was UMaine, though, at 9 years old. 13, hold on. Falls at 13 years old, committed to UMaine in 7th grade. The first player in the 2000s to commit to play college hockey. Youngest player ever to commit to play college hockey as well at 13. Wow. Committing to UMaine, that's where his dad went before playing in Sweden.
He's from Maine, right?
Yes, from Maine. Then switched his commitment to BU in what year is it here? Doesn't say it. And then committed to BC by 2018. So, I don't know. He switched 3 times. But he did have a goal at the age of 9 during a shootout contest during that Bruins 3-on-3 mini 1-on-1 thing. Yeah, so I thought he committed at 13. I thought I read it before. He was the youngest. That's why I said 13 to 14. I thought I read that before because when he was coming to BC, Mike Curley was the biggest fan of him. We had a bet at one point, actually. He was going to have 50 points or 40 points at his first year, which was nuts. And what did he have? 28. No, not even 8 goals, 11 assists, 19 points. So Mike owes me money still. He said he was going to have like 40 points because that was the year before that. Adam Gaudette lit it up, and then he came back for that 2017-2018 season and had like 30 goals and like 25 assists, something crazy.
Insane, yeah, it was insane.
And I remember saying to Mike, like, oh, Gaudette's the best player in college hockey. He's like, oh, wait for this guy to come in. And I don't know much about him. That's why I knew he was committed early because I looked him up and ended up never getting my money. So Mike owes me there. But UMaine, he did commit to originally. I'm a big UMaine basketball fan and UMaine football. So Swayman did.
Yeah.
Swayman did. Hey, for the gambling prodigy, anyone wants to gamble, UMaine plays Ohio State on Wednesday night in basketball. They will be covering in that game.
Yeah, they will not.
They will be covering that game. Ooh. They will be covering.
Really?
Oh, I mean, they were a 20-point underdog versus BC. The sports guru, me and Mike Curley, had that game. We actually had the money line, and they ended up winning, so it worked out. So UMaine basketball, good dogs. They play hard. They had a tough game, look like tonight, against Akron, so a MAC opponent. You guys know I like my Mid-American football.
Oh, yeah.
MAC basketball. They had a tough game tonight. Looked like they were down like 20 at half, and then I didn't get to check back in. But, Wednesday night would be a good game, hopefully.
I played basketball at their court once.
Orono, Maine?
Yeah.
UMaine? Is that when we went to visit?
It's such a
hike.
Yeah, it's a
hike.
drive.
It's a drive. So far away.
And there's
It's a
nothing
hike.
on that drive. Like you think the drive to St. Michael's is bad. It's not as bad as Maine.
Yeah, St. Mike's is tough. It is a hike, too. St. Mike's is a hike. Let's see what that score was of the game really quick. Just want to keep this update. UMaine lost by 32. Could be tough for Ohio State. I think they're going to play up to their competition. I'll say that. They're going to play up.
Like the Islanders.
I know we were talking about the Islanders, and we didn't want to go back onto the Bees, and I think Mark might be able to give
we can hop anywhere. There's no rules.
The correct information for this stat, but Matt Barzal actually almost should have been a Bruin.
That's a tough go.
The 3 picks prior to Matt Barzal were all owned by the Bruins. I know one was DeBrusk, who's out of those 3.
Who's really had a resurgence this year.
Out of those 3 picks, he's the only one who's really on the NHL level. I know Forbeck.
Zaboral's like a 7th defenseman right now.
Senishin was one of those.
And Senishin was the last of the 3 picks, And as soon as he was taken, they said he was projected to be in the second round. Like, what were the Bruins thinking? And he hasn't panned out whatsoever. So
we got rid of him, right?
That was a tough go.
Yeah,
I mean, look, a lot of Bruins fans will look back in much more regret. And there was a time where I was very sorrowful about those picks. But just with DeBrusk reviving his career this year, and a lot of the decisions, I said this to Joey the other day, the decisions made by the Bruins management over the last few years have been heavily criticized. And don't get me wrong, they deserve to be criticized for a lot of things. The Mitchell Miller signing, as well as the 3 picks where they could have had Barzal, Kyle Connor, who was a 40-goal scorer last year, or Thomas Chabot from Ottawa, who's been playing unbelievable to them. He's a defenseman. And so they shouldn't be overlooking those draft picks. They've talked about that before. But there's a lot of things that they've done right. And I think that's why they're on top of the league standings right now. And I hope that they stay there, So a lot of those decisions, it's great to see.
We actually just had a text from my girlfriend. She goes to the University of Michigan. Jamie was talking about UMaine basketball, and she wanted to just let us know that
she's rooting for UMaine.
Yeah, she's definitely written for
she's
UMaine.
Not a big Ohio State fan, so thank you, Riley. I appreciate it. It does mean a lot. Roll UMaine. They're dogs. I'm telling you right now. You guys know I like the Clippers because they play hard. That's the main reason I started liking the Clips. Besides Paul George, they play very hard. UMaine basketball, there's not a loose ball that team won't get.
Oh no.
Even versus Ohio State, they dive on the ground.
Yeah.
They'll hit the head off the court every play. What is Ryan doing? I wish it was a live recording. Maybe I should have set up.
Yeah, get a camera.
You know what I should have done? I should have set up a YouTube live, dude, and then we should have done it live.
I was like, these people are listening.
You should drill that and just not tell anyone. Just let it go.
I should have put a YouTube live up. Where can you put a camera in here, though, honestly? Like right here, I guess?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like, there's nowhere to put a camera. I don't know. Like sailing, I guess? I don't know.
No, you do gotta start recording it, bro. That's content.
Yeah, you're right.
It really is.
Do I have the space on my phone, though, to do that?
It's hard to do it.
I don't.
That's something we should talk about. We got a lot of people in here that should be contenting more.
I don't promote anything on like my podcast Instagram account, which I should. This will be one thing. We just got a picture before we came in, which I think we should have a picture in the studio, honestly, just because of how nuts this is. We have 26 people in there. I don't know how we have 30 people.
I don't know how we're doing this either, but
it is 100 degrees.
Yeah, dude. It is sauna, yeah.
It's 100 degrees. Hey,
We're getting through it.
We're all getting through it. Before Dan ends up leaving, because he will be leaving at some point, we'll have Ryan take a selfie from that angle since no one else can take one.
Take a
what?
what?
Selfie.
Oh, selfie.
You are the king.
I want to keep going.
No, we'll keep going. I'm saying by the time Dan leaves,
like
Dan has to leave early, I said. So by the time he leaves, we got to make sure we get one. 47 people that are in this room right now.
I want to keep going.
I do want to keep going. I like it.
All right.
But yeah, you mentioned we were talking about NHL draft. It's one of those things that's just a giant crapshoot. Like, outside of the first 10 picks, you have no idea if some guy's supposed to be in the first round or the third round, really. I mean, not this past draft, the year before, Islanders got Atu Ratu with the 47th pick, and he's looking like he's going to be an elite player, probably up in the NHL next year at, 21 years old. And so I think he's going to be a stud, and everyone was saying that he should have been top 15 pick.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with the Bruins and Fabian Lysell. I think that might have been the same draft, and he fell outside the top 10. People were saying he could have gone top 10, but he was number 20 or 21 technically because of the Arizona Coyotes forfeited draft pick with the draft combine. Mishaps that they had, but yeah, I mean, I think that you're right. I mean, a lot of the NHL draft, it's so hard. I mean, there's so many guys who come out of fall outside the top 10 or whatever, and you don't know what an organization's thinking and stuff. But I remember hearing about him, Ratu, and how good he was going to be. And so, I mean, obviously root for his success in New York as well. So
yeah, I mean, now the Islanders, I just saw a few days ago their 5th round pick last year in last year's draft. He had 5 goals in a game a few days ago in the OHL, which is a more offensive league, but still 5 goals in a game, whatever league it is. That's nuts, and he was a 5th round pick.
The OHL is all goals. That's a lot of talent.
Aaron Ekblad, when he got drafted, I don't think he could do a pull-up.
I don't think he got. I don't know if that was him.
No, I think it was him.
I know Casey Middlestat.
Did
Ekblad go first overall?
Ekblad was first overall.
Yeah, it was Ekblad.
Yeah, Casey Middlestat was unable to do bench press. Bench press.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy to me. They're signing contracts for millions of dollars and they can't do a pull-up.
Yeah, that is.
Well, you gotta remember,
but they're going first overall. That's why I think it's just crazy. The combine is nuts.
You know who can do a push-up? It's not going first overall. That should go first overall in hockey. Jacob Curley.
Right.
He can do push-ups. Jacob in there. That's
Jacob reps. Jacob reps.
Jacob do push-ups. Jacob could do push-ups.
If you send Jacob, I don't think you can do the bench press. but if you send Jacob to the NHL Combine, he would perform. Like he performs.
It was 225 for the bench press.
Hockey dreams are still alive.
It's not like too crazy.
Yeah, Jacob.
It's still alive in my eyes.
The coaches would be like, that pick looks really good. I should have drafted that.
I want him on my team.
Hey, 7-3 Bs, by the way. 7-3
Oh,
Bs.
yeah.
Bergeron had a goal, and my mom says another one. So I'm staying up to date. I try to keep us
That's
up to date
awesome.
with the
I
score.
love to hear that. Love to
Gotta
hear
love
that.
it. 7-3 Bs.
Hey, we don't have to worry about goaltending if we're going to put up a football score every game.
It's against Spencer Knight.
Not
from
need
BC,
goaltending.
though. It's against Spencer Knight from
Yeah, but
BC.
he's coming off an injury, so let's give him a little bit.
I always thought Spencer Knight was good. I always thought he was overrated, though. He gave 3 or 4 goals a game.
Speaking of goalies who are underrated and also people who went super late in the NHL draft, Devin Levi.
Devin Levi, the absolute best goalie in college
pick,
hockey.
MVP of college hockey last year. Should have been, but he got snubbed.
He's the best goalie in college hockey.
Another goalie
He
won the
didn't win
Hobie
the
Baker,
Hobie.
but Devin Levi won best goalie in college hockey. Don't know how that makes
the
sense.
Richter Award, but yeah, he should have won. Should have won Hobie.
Devin Levi, another guy in the NHL draft who went super late, and I think he's going to be a stud in the
James
NHL.
Hosey's underrated, though, for sure.
Who's
He was drafted by Florida, and he
Florida
got
got traded to Buffalo.
Buffalo.
He will
Because
be
they had
the
Spencer
guy.
Knight
Yeah,
and they had Levi. I would have went with Levi personally. I think Spencer Knight's good. Don't get me wrong, but I went to a lot of his games freshman year. He gave 3 or 4 goals a game. They were just winning because it was 7-4 every game, or 6-3,
Shout out to my boy
or 5-2.
John Muse.
John Muse, former BC legend.
That was
Oh,
a goalie,
legend.
bro.
BC
Legend. I mean, there's a lot of good
I'll
BC
never
goals
forget
over the
him.
years.
I was gonna say,
so-
John Wall was really good while he was here.
No, yeah.
Toronto,
Eric Dopp, the GOAT.
Shout out Dopp. Paul Gerard, the biggest Dopp fan I know.
I was
Shout
the
out Dopp.
biggest Dopp fan last year. Too bad he had a bad season, but it is what it is.
Hey, we'll talk college hockey really quick just for a minute. Dan, big BC hockey fan. We actually met Nikita Nesterenko a few weeks ago. Actually, had the pleasure of talking hockey for an hour, which was awesome. Dan, talk some BC hockey. What do you think about the season? And obviously, the first half season, BC finished very strong. I think they were around like 4-1-1 in their last 6 games played. Had some really big wins in that stretch. Beating BU was huge, 9-6. 15 goals in that game was nuts. Beat Northeastern actually one game. Lost to Northeastern in OT or a shootout once. Which that was a Cam Lund game. We were in New York City and we were watching. And
Yeah, that
he had
game
4
was
goals,
crazy. Yep.
which was nuts. But Dan's a big BC hockey fan. What have you seen from the team? And obviously now with the second half season coming in just a week and a half now, they'll be playing at Arizona State, playing for Northeastern great. TJ Semdenfelter. What have you seen from the team?
Yeah, I mean, they started out slow. I mean, it's a pretty young team. I mean, you have Cutter Gauthier coming in, top 5 pick in last year's draft to the Flyers. He's absolutely filthy. Absolutely nuts. I have not seen a big forward with him with the skill he has in the entire time that I've been here at BC. Boldy, he's probably around 6 foot, but he didn't have the same.
He hasn't a stick handling.
He didn't have the same on ice presence as Gauthier. You give Gauthier you give him the puck, and he's gonna do something filthy with it every single time. And I also like Nikita. He's been a dog out there. They switched up the lines recently, moving Gauthier kind of around, trying to spread out some of that offense, because they originally had Gauthier with Nikita and Ambrosio on the top line, and Ambrosio is a smaller forward, but he's probably best speed on the team. So I like that combination, but because there's so many young guys on the team, they're trying to spread out that offense, which I kind of understand. And lately they've been playing a lot better. I mean, they beat BU at home in a crazy, crazy game. What was
Jerry
it like?
York night.
It was what, like
Jerry York night, 96.
96.
absolutely
15
nuts.
goals.
Absolutely nuts. And they beat Northeastern earlier in the year at home. Should have beat them twice, but they decided to give up like 3 goals.
3 goals in the last 11 minutes.
Yeah, that was
11 minutes. And it's including one with like under a second left. Like Cam Lund's goal was with like a 10th of a second left on the clock, which is nuts.
Yeah, so I think
Big win for us.
So I think preseason, everyone was thinking that the BC hockey team was going to be really bad. But, I mean, a bunch of guys have stepped up this year so far. I mean, like, Oscar Jelvik has played very, very good freshman.
Prospect.
Yep. Mitch
I've been
Benson.
talking about him for a while. He was a 5th-round pick. And he's very good from Sweden, but continue.
He's a stud. Yeah, then Mitch Benson at Net's been elite. Great goalie.
Benson's
Transfer
been great.
from Colgate.
It's just the one problem with the team is that pretty much all of their defensemen, I mean, outside of like their 6'8" guy, I always forget what his name is, but like literally all of their defensemen are offensive, every single one of them. So it's like when Marshall Warren brings up the puck, it's like there's no one back that's going to be able to stop a 2v1. Which I mean that's going to be their downfall against teams like Northeastern and BU that can put in a lot of goals.
Or speed. I mean, speed. BU was doing circles around BC when BC won that game. They did circles around Northeastern, too, when I went to that game. And BC, they did. BU was just so fast. They played to a different pace than the other team always.
If I could play at any college, like hockey,
Northeastern.
in the entire country, it would be BC.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
you've been the biggest BC fan.
I still have that stick hanging up in my room. Like,
Dude,
I'm never gonna.
UMass Lowell.
maybe like back in the day, I would have. I'm saying
I
UNH.
still love to.
UNH?
I would have played
Hockey
UNH.
Forum,
UNH is sick. I like UNH's jerseys though. UNH's jerseys are nice.
UNH does have nice jerseys.
They're
It's
nice.
not a hockey school, but considering a couple Northeastern kids just transferred out there, who me and Joey Mailer are very fond of, Arizona State.
Robert Mastrosimone.
That would be a fun
He's
school to
nasty.
play hockey at.
Low-key, it's becoming a hockey school.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, they have
Mastrosimone
some
went.
good talent.
One of
They're
BU's
pretty
best
good.
players went over there. And then
Yeah,
Northeastern's
they're
backup
pretty
goalie should have been the starter. If Levi left, but Levi ends up
They're
staying.
so smart.
He's great.
It's crazy.
The Jacksons both are so
Both
Both
talented.
Jackson brothers from Northeastern, great
And
players.
they led the OHL. The Jacksons were unreal. They had one of the best lines in like the OHL in the entire league. They both had like 30, 40 points each, like 30 games played.
Like a bunch of, I think a bunch of NHLers now are like actually from the state of Arizona. Like I think Zegras
Oh,
might
yeah.
be from Arizona.
Matthews is a big one.
One of the
Actually,
best
is an
hockey
up
players
and
in the world.
coming hot zone.
What'd you say?
It definitely is an up and coming hot zone for the NHL.
I didn't know if Zegers was from there.
I
I know
think-
Zegers was
except
from
for the
USA.
Coyotes.
They went to BU.
Yeah, the Coyotes
Yeah.
is still terrible. The Coyotes
I
is
didn't
still
want to get
terrible.
that wrong.
Yeah, I think the help was helping with that grow the sport of hockey in that area is like Zegras, like him being on the cover. That's huge for California and just that whole area as a whole. And junior hockey is growing. I don't know if anyone here really knows anything about junior hockey, but the USPHL just made a new NCDC, which is a lot of Division I players, a lot of BC guys that play there. A friend of ours, Quinn McCarthy, over at Nichols, he's playing there now. He played for the South Shore Kings in the NCDC. It's a really good league where guys are able to play.
They get developed, right?
Yeah, they're able to play for free
and develop.
and get developed and get to be seen by these in front of these colleges where in the West before these colleges wouldn't travel out there to go see the hockey because it was just had a bad rep of just not being good hockey. It was dirty. People were just hitting people from behind. It was all just fighting. And now with the NCDC now moving out there, it's giving a new name to the game, and it's definitely making a lot of schools like Northeastern and BC give those kids another look.
That's
And
awesome.
Oh,
No, for sure.
that's sick.
Which team became NCDC in Cali?
In Cali, it's Cali. It's the Pueblo
Just the whole
Bulls,
West Coast,
Bulls
is
in
it?
Colorado.
Oh.
There's two in Utah, in Provo, one in Ogden. There is the Spud Kings in Idaho. It's a lot of just the western part of the state. There's a lot more in the Tier 3 league for California with the Fresno Monsters. They have the Long Beach Shredders, which is a really cool one. Their logo, which is a guy ripping a guitar on a surfboard. It's sick. That's what their logo is.
That is really
Yeah,
cool.
it's definitely, and they had a hot tub for their games. It only lasted 2 games because it started to leak. But yeah, no, the game of hockey out west is definitely getting revived, even at the club level and at the Division I level for NCAA. It's getting a lot bigger.
Dude, it's 100 degrees in here. Wow.
Yeah, it's getting a lot. Yeah,
As Will Smith
it's all the
says-
bodies.
It's 100 degrees in the Caribbean seas.
I don't know how.
He says it in Miami. It
You need to
is.
get one of those,
It is
like,
100
silent
degrees
AC
in here.
things in here.
Well, I'd probably take up all the sound though if you had some. Oh, silent one you said. I think you said it.
Quiet one.
I got
I
you.
don't know.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that.
Larry Kenney.
I thought you were talking about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
fan. I thought you were talking about that fan that Ryan Walsh has
Yeah.
at his frat, UMass Amherst. That thing would keep a name in the wing. All right, so here's all up.
Before we keep going, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta ask. I'm assuming you two might know. For the people who don't go to big Hockey East schools, do you know who is currently leading the Hockey East? If you had to guess, give me one.
Oh yeah.
If you know the answer, don't answer it. But if you don't know, tell me who.
I-
Your guess. If you had to give one.
I'd probably say it's the one that's under Boston, Providence.
No, it's not Providence College. Do you know what it is?
I think I know what it is.
It's not UVM.
Do you know what it is?
UVM
No,
is
you guys have a
terrible.
really
The
bad.
current number 1 team is Merrimack.
Yeah.
They're top 5 in college.
That's
hockey.
Top 5 in college hockey. They made the jump to the Division I level 3 years ago.
That's crazy.
They're good. Yeah, they're solid. They have a lot of. It's like
BC at home.
Yeah.
Early on.
Easily
What if you have
Five country,
BBC?
so
the
nuts.
worst drink in the
Oh, I
East.
totally agree. The worst drink.
Merrimack?
The
Like
worst
Merrimack?
drink.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
The
worse
ice
than
is
Dorchester
terrible.
Youth Hockey rink.
It's the worst rank.
It's worse. It's
Oh.
worse than
That rink is
Dorchester Youth
sick.
Hockey.
That rink is sick. I've played there too. It's sick. That rink is sick.
Merrimack's?
Yeah.
No.
It's dirty, bro.
Are you serious?
It's not even close to the best in the Hockey East. The Hockey East is sick.
Merrimack's is disgusting.
Is Bentley? Bentley's not in the Hockey East.
No,
right?
he's not.
They're
They're,
no, they're Atlantic
any-
hockey.
any-
They're Atlantic
any-
hockey. They're Atlantic hockey with AIC.
oh, right.
With
Yeah.
AIC,
Or
Niagara,
AIC.
RIT. They're ECAC.
AIC,
Oh, ECAC.
AIC I'm a big fan of. I'm a huge
Bro,
AIC hockey
they
fan.
just joined
They're filthy.
our side of the conference for all the other sports.
Really?
Yeah, so I play them 4 times this year.
Wow.
Do you play them in Springfield? 'Cause I'm going to that game then.
No, we're in.
I was like, I'm a big fan of their
I'm
hockey
mad.
team.
I'm
They're
mad
a
it's not in
wagon.
Springfield because
Then
I've been
people
to every
come to-
school. I've been to every school on our side of the conference, obviously, because we've had home and away games. but I've never been to AIC, and we've played them before. So I was hoping this time it would be at AIC, so I could just add another field to the list.
Yeah, you wish. Yeah, that they're in the Atlantic Hockey with like Mercyhurst, Holy Cross,
Dude,
RIT, RPI, all of them.
Most of those schools have D2 sports.
A lot of them, yeah.
Bentley is
Division 2 baseball,
else.
right? Yeah.
Football. Yep.
What's it called? Is AIC is
I don't know what Mercyhurst is as well.
Like
RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology.
However you say that, that's
Bemidji State.
Bemidji State.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if
They're not in that though. Bemidji State's in a different conference in hockey.
No, but
yeah.
like
they're in the.
There's a lot of D1s out there
Or
that
Minnesota
have
State.
like St. Cloud State. St. Cloud State is like dirty at hockey.
They're way
They're
good.
D2 for baseball and like close to us in the rankings.
That's crazy.
Hey, while we're talking college hockey, me and Mark are talking Northeastern really quick. They had a 4-game skid, lost 4 in a row at one point.
It's a tough go.
I was saying to Mark, I don't know what we're going to do. We got to turn around. We're going to keep my morale up. Skis hockey kept me going last year. They got a win, though, which was great last night.
Yep.
4-3 in overtime over Long Island. They're up 3-0 at one point. Choked the lead. It actually got to be 3-2, 3-3. Then it was 3-3 going into OT. Sam Colangelo got a second goal of the night. Skis won 4-3. Huge win. Now they have a week or two off before they play December 30th at Bentley. So hopefully they get a win there. Bentley's not having the best year. They're having a really bad year. Bentley's like second or third.
Bentley's
rank
ranking is so cool too.
I'm hoping.
It's a baseball field.
Yeah, what do you think about Northeastern hockey? Let's
yeah.
hear some takes.
I'm hoping Northeastern hockey can right the ship. I mean, I obviously got a big stretch coming up.
Harvard after that. UConn twice is really good. Merrimack twice.
UConn twice. And Frozen Fenway. As well. I'd love to see them get a win there. I mean, obviously Fenway being so close to the school, you don't want a team from Connecticut coming in and beating us. Seriously, that would be heartbreaking. I'm very much looking forward to going to that game, and then obviously the Bean Pot. That's a huge thing. Any team that could come away.
February
with the Bean
6th, 8 o'clock.
When's that UVM game?
UVM they play at UVM February 18th. We're going to that.
We'll be going to UVM. We'll be
at Saturday. Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
When is that?
It's in Burlington,
Vermont.
In February.
Burlington, Vermont.
There. Yeah,
that'd be a great game.
Your boy's gonna have to get a day off.
That'd be a fun game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we'll be there.
The Staples growing never ends.
Bro,
Staples legend.
I'm mad at UVM athletics right now though. Because they're knocking down the Gutterson Fieldhouse.
Top 10 Staples.
Top 10 Staples in the East. Go.
Yeah, name it.
The best regional.
Top 10 items at Staples. Go.
Pens.
Staples.
Staples in the top 5.
The namesake's got to be number 1.
Staples in the top 5 items at Staples.
Items?
Yeah. What are the most sold
I'm gonna
items?
think of the most things that people.
The correct answer has to
What
be.
are the most bought items?
That was easy.
Yeah, that's the best one.
That was
I
the best one.
didn't,
That's gotta
I
be
didn't
number
actually
one.
think I kept pressing that like when I was at the
That's got to be one.
But actually, a lot of people don't buy those anymore.
It's gone out of style.
I would say
Life's gotten harder.
Yeah.
It was in back.
That was easy buttons.
I'm gonna that wasn't so easy.
Life is hard.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good sales pitch. You should be like, hey,
I'm
we
on
should
hip.
start making. That wasn't so easy.
That's what he said. Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to hit those all the way at Copy Center because that place fucking blows. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I guess a lot of people buy pens. That's like the top thing. I know James always is in there getting pens. I would say chairs.
And just you talking about that, James said we need to hear more from Jacob. So here you go. Give him what he wants.
There it is.
Pens, chairs. A lot of people bought chairs today, actually. Gaming chairs. I don't know why people buy
Nice.
gaming.
So, there's a big tourney coming up, actually. Yeah.
Does
Staples?
Yeah, does anyone buy Staples? Good question.
Honestly, the one thing that I don't see a lot of people buy as Staples is Staples.
Oh, God.
People are always asking for Staples at coffee
You
shop.
guys sell like coffee makers and stuff too, like
Yeah, we
all
do.
kinds of stuff.
iPhone
Yeah.
chargers, Reese's.
Yeah, we do. Actually,
Sell
yeah,
Reese's. Sell Reese's. I'll be there.
There's actually the funniest thing is like I would see when I'd be at the register is like these big dudes like, I know I shouldn't get that, but I gotta get that. They're eyeing the Reese's like, you shouldn't put that Reese's in front of me, man. I'm like, I don't put that up there.
That's me. That's
I'm
me.
like,
I'm one
yeah.
of them. Was I one of them when I went? I could have.
Probably, yeah.
But I'm not buff like that.
I guess people.
He
always-
said he's buff dudes. I'm not
People
like
have been
that,
getting
over the skinny
what's
side.
it called? Boxes recently because of Christmas and stuff.
I can hit the gym harder though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, me too.
Dan hits the gym harder. We're actually gonna talk
Well,
about
yeah,
that
a lot of people put out like orders in for like 100 Christmas cards, but there's like a thing that they have now where it costs like there's a coupon that you can put online that's like $0. Like,
Hey.
zero dollars. You don't have to pay for holiday cards. It's weird. I don't know what the.
Let's hear it from Jacob first. Are Staples going out of fashion?
Are Staples like the brand or the?
No, Staples itself.
Like Staples.
I would
People
think
use paper
so.
clips instead, or just not stapling things.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, like
Might be.
those new printers can make the pages together like with like the
Yeah,
crinkles.
printers actually
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
Crinkles.
Our
It
printers
Brady
actually
printers,
do
it
that.
right?
staples it for you. Yeah.
There's a
What?
literally.
Or not-
We don't,
Yeah,
we don't
yeah,
have that in
yeah,
Michigan.
yeah.
We don't have that cool stuff
At
in Michigan, man.
at the self-serve machines, you can choose the staple stuff.
Yeah.
It staples for you. It just pops out of there.
Legit crazy.
Pretty cool, yeah.
And I thought double-sided
I
printing was
thought
cool.
that
Like,
benefit.
Well, people didn't know that. They're like, but the thing
It's
is,
catching
people
on.
don't want to pay extra to get. So that's why they always ask for like, do you guys have a staple up here? I'm like, yeah. And then
I hate stapling stuff.
Me too.
I always like ask.
When you do your homework,
staple my hand. I always staple my hand.
when you do your homework, you gotta staple, right? So it
Every
works.
time.
You don't
every
actually
time.
staple your hand. You mess with the stapler because you're so fidgety.
Dude, there's been a couple times though where I've had staples like fully in my hand.
Dude, I've stapled my finger before. Hurricane
I've
Harold.
hot glued my hand.
Hurricane
before.
Harold, I stapled my thumb. It was bad.
I've also, when I was younger, like, I don't know why I did this, but I used to put like staples and like paper clips and pins like through my fingers.
Just to do it?
And like yeah, it'd be like, look, and I'd be like, look, and I'd go like that, and it would like be in my
Just
hand.
to feel something.
Yeah, just feel something. Dude, I don't know why I did that though. That was definitely
Like Happy Gilmore's taking balls off the chest to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 365 more days till the next hockey season.
Yeah, there it is.
Dude, I wonder if he ever went to the hockey tryout. They never even show it. All
They showed it on one tryout.
No,
First one.
but all
Not the
they
next
care about,
one.
all they care about is his golf career after. Like,
Yeah,
they
they're
don't even
showing
check in
tryout,
on him.
yeah.
They don't even check in on him. Like, hey, you still chasing that hockey stuff?
Also, what a missile he had breaking the glass. Come on now. What,
Yeah, dude, he's talented.
yeah.
league.
Raw talent. Raw talent.
Better luck next year.
For sure. So I would transition to baseball. So we're going to talk a lot about the MLB free agency. We'll start off with the Mets, since they had a better free agents than the Red Sox. It's probably more entertaining to talk about than the Red Sox, I'll say.
no, it's not debatable.
Yeah, it's we'll talk about the Mets. They had a great free agency.
It's not debatable.
Not debatable.
I was over here trying to be like, yeah, debatable. Like, I'm the one saying, oh, not the Bruins, oh, not
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But yeah, you can't even say
The Sox
that.
offseason was just sad. We can break down the Mets. Obviously, re-signing Brandon Nimmo was great. Re-signing Edwin Diaz was awesome. They ended up losing Jacob deGrom, replacing him with Justin Verlander, which was great.
Did DeGrom go to like Texas?
Texas.
Yeah, Texas Rangers.
Why?
But they got,
Why?
I mean, they got Verlander, then they got Quintana, they got more money. And he also didn't want to be in the New York media. I was reading, actually, an article about him the other day. I didn't mention this to Dan yet. That he ended up just not wanting to be, like, in the media. At first, he used to say, like, oh, I'll talk during the week, you're not on start days. Then it would be limited on start days. Then it would be to a point where he doesn't want to talk at all. I guess he just wants to be outside of New York and not be in the New York media. And Texas is a great place to go because no one cares about baseball as much there. It's all Dallas Cowboys.
No one's covering the Rangers. No one's
Exactly.
covering the
Yeah,
Rangers.
and another thing too. I mean, he's signing that monster contract. Texas is one of the lowest tax
Yeah.
rates in the country.
That adds
I
into. They
mean,
mentioned that too.
He won't come out and say that. No athlete will, but that's a serious thing.
Dude, you can also buy a house in Texas that's like 6 times the size of ours for the exact same price as
Yeah,
ours.
it's insane.
It's nuts.
Definitely. So Dan, so you obviously get Justin Verlander to replace Jacob DeGrom, which is huge. Jose Quintana, great add to the lineup, to the rotation, and then you also got
Senga.
yes,
Senga from
Kodai
Japan.
Senga.
Yep.
Kodai Senga, he's a stud.
He is gross.
You guys made a lot of offseason moves. Let's hear your opinion on all of them. I know you were very excited about Brandon Nimmo coming
Yeah.
back, but let's hear what you got.
Yeah, so I think signing and
Senga was huge.
we also signed Robertson for the bullpen, but
Yep. David Robinson.
that's
right?
I think getting Nimmo is huge because the center field market was just pretty horrible this free agency outside of Nimmo. I mean, there was Kevin Kiermaier was like the second center fielder available.
He just got speed.
So it was like if the Mets weren't going to get Nimmo, they were either going to have to make a trade for like a Brian Reynolds or someone there, or they were going to have to move Marte to center. Which, I mean, based on his recent injuries in the last few years, I know that they didn't really want to do that. So getting Nimmo back was huge. And obviously re-signing Diaz, absolutely huge for that bullpen because they lost at least like...
Give us a little more. Give us a little more. That's nice.
I think being in the stadium for that, dude, is one of like the most insane like feelings, moments. Like
It's like wild.
I
thing in
almost
Major
cried,
League.
dude. I almost cried.
Shane.
I was like, dude, like I just feel like so cool right now. I'm watching Edwin Diaz and the trumpets are playing.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone's always talking about how like we need to like make baseball like fun again. And I mean, you go to Citi Field when Edwin Diaz comes out, it's like Mr. and Mrs. Met are on top of the dugout playing the trumpets. The trumpets are blasting over the speakers. That's like the biggest difference I think between Met Stadium and Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium, they're always by the book. It's like, let's go Yankees. That's the only thing that matters. Mets, they're trying to get the fans involved, which I think is really important for making baseball good for young people again. But yeah, I mean, just continuing on outside of Diaz, getting Verlander to replace DeGrom. I mean, I know for a fact that the Mets did not want to give DeGrom 5 years, and I think he got 5 for $185, which, I mean, given his injury history, I think that's why he didn't like talking to the media, because every single time he would have an interview, someone would ask him, oh, how's your shoulder? How's your forearm doing? And, I mean, last season he didn't start pitching until, I think he came back in July, but he was out for over a year.
It was only a couple of stats and he got hurt again, didn't he?
So I know that the Mets didn't want to give him that 5th year. I think they were okay with giving him 3, maybe 4. But, I mean, Texas, I mean, they're just spending money like crazy. Yeah. Which, I mean...
Marcus Semien, Corey Seager. John Gray got paid by them, too.
Which is crazy because they don't have Steve Cohen as their owner. So, like, I don't know how they're doing it, but they are. And, I mean, DeGrom said when he signed that, like, oh, yeah, it was because he liked the direction that the franchise was going. And, I mean, I think they won, 70 games last year. So that's obviously just not the truth. He went there for the money, which, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean... Someone's going to give a guy an extra $40-50 million, obviously you go there.
I would.
It's not that much, yeah.
Hey, give them a couple of years, though. That rotation's going to be elite. Leiter's coming up. Jack Leiter will be up in a couple of years, and then also Kumar Rocket. That's going to be elite rotation.
Dude,
their rotation's going to be elite.
Kumar is like a sketchy one, though.
Kumar Rocket was a Mets draft pick originally.
His arm, bro, but he's been drafted like 3 times.
2 times? Well, yeah, because the Mets he didn't sign.
I think 3.
I think
was he out of high school? Yes. Out of high school, yes. Then by the Mets,
Twice
and then,
at
yes.
Vandy, yeah.
Yes, you're right. And you went to some Vandy games, didn't you, when you were there?
I went to a couple, yeah.
Which is cool. It's awesome. You went to school at Lipscomb. Yes. Yeah, you went to Lipscomb for a year, and you went to some games, which was cool. Jackson Kelly, the GOAT.
Hawkins, is it Hawkins Field? No, is it?
I don't know the name. I'm not sure the name of it.
It's so nice, though. It's wicked good. It's a good venue for college baseball. Also, the SEC, bro, is a different breed of athletics. Like
it is. Football and basketball.
Vanderbilt kind of stunk at football, but like seeing like all the big schools come in, dude, like in the fan bases that take over Nashville was sick.
Yeah, we don't have that really here.
The SEC is legit.
Obviously. We don't have that here. I mean, that's the thing. Even Big Tens. You know?
I have a question about the Mets.
Sports schools than BC. Yeah, no, go ahead.
What was their win total this year? It was like 100, right?
106 or something?
No, I think it was 100 flat.
100 flat?
Maybe 101.
Over under 100 wins this year for the Mets, you think? Do you think they do better or do you think they do worse?
101-61.
Ooh.
101-61.
That's a very good record, obviously.
I think something that's very important is if they can sign Conforto, I think over.
I'll get second.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a little scared that it's going to be under, just because the lineup it was good last year, but they didn't have that power, and that really hurt them against the Padres. Yeah. Last year they had I think like 2nd or 3rd in the entire league in on base percentage, but outside of Pete Alonso, outside of Lindor and Marte to some extent, they don't really have much power. I mean, Nimmo might give you 15 homers,
Vogel back off the bench.
Vogie.
That's my boy. That's my boy. I love him, bro.
Vogie's a dog.
He's a dog.
Oh yeah.
That is a house for me.
When you see that guy, you're like,
hey,
anything's possible. Anything's possible.
One thing that was really cool about Vogelback, I just saw on the MLB Instagram account, was that he was at the MLB store, which us 3 were all at, us 4, handing out gifts to kids and stuff, like a Vogelback jersey, and that's hat stuff was cool.
Awesome. What a beauty.
And they called him, what do they call him, Vogel Claus or something? Santa. No, they gave him some nickname.
Very cool for me.
I feel they gave him, though. Santa. I think it was Vogel Claus or something.
The Mets are definitely my second favorite team in the MLB, and I think that's probably because my roommate's a Mets fan, but...
I like the Mets, though.
City Field's food is unmatched. It's so good. It's so good.
You're a big food fan, but you're going to get your takes on your best foods at the end of this.
All right,
Top 3 Boston restaurants we're doing at the end, too. Remember that?
The best food I've ever had at a sporting event was I had these insane buffalo chicken wings at the Bruins game once. Those are insane. I still dream about those sometimes. But after that, like the next 4 items are all from City Field. Like, the food there is insane.
They have a Shake Shack in center field.
Hey, they have Shake Shack in center.
I was just going to say, they have, like, legit places inside there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
like, they also have, like, a lot of local places in there, too.
Yeah, I think they're looking to put a Chick-fil-A in there, which would be, like, absolutely nuts. I know they have some Chick-fil-A sponsors out in right field, but I don't think they have a Chick-fil-A in there yet.
Don't they have a cow?
And a cow? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because like the Eat More Chicken little thing.
Yeah.
And they just put in like this like speakeasy club in right field, which I don't even know what that means for a baseball game, but they did it. So like Steve Cohen's actually making huge moves with that franchise. Like you could have talked to me like 4 years ago. Now I'll be like, dude, the Mets. I don't even know what the heck we're doing with the Will Pods.
Robinson Cano contract. You had a lot of things during those days.
Robinson.
It wasn't just outside the stadium.
They're still paying him this year. They're still paying him this year.
He's on the payroll for one more year. He's playing in a minor league.
Yeah, he's playing somewhere.
Minor league team or something.
He was on the Mets. He was on the Braves.
Were you too busy paying him to fix
He was
things?
playing for the whatever teams at
Padres minor league team.
It was like Paso Chihuahua.
Yeah, that's it too.
Playing.
Yeah, like so after this coming year, I think he's off the Bucks.
But you guys won 101 games last year, so I thought it was 106. It was the Astros who won 106 last year. I forgot. I thought you guys had the second best record in baseball, but it was third. It was third. Yeah, they had 101 with them, right?
Lindor is such a beast.
I love Lindor now. I mean,
he has so much like swagger.
Yeah, he does everything on the field very well, and he's a huge leader. I mean, people were asking Nimmo when he re-signed, like if he would want to be captain, and I was like, dude, if anyone's going to be a captain, it's Lindor. Yeah. Anyone. And I mean, like,
a lot for baseball as a sport too, like
he grows the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't know anything about baseball but know who Francisco Lindor is.
Yeah, he's absolutely stud fielder, runs well, hits for power. What more do you want?
And
I mean,
he looks sick while he does it.
Yeah.
He has so much steeds, it's not even funny.
Yeah, he's always rocking the chains. He's always rocking the chains, rocks some blue hair every now and then. It's nuts.
Yeah. And then he always has like drawings on his cleats and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a beast. Cool. He's a beast.
Yeah, I love him on the team. I mean, everyone was like ready to blow up the ship when we signed him to that crazy contract, and then he didn't do too well 2 years ago. But last year he showed that he's one of the top shortstops in the league. And I hope that he could replicate that success this year. I'm just worried about the home run total if they don't go out and get another power bat now that JD Martinez is gone.
Yeah.
So I mean that's some Mets stuff, but let's hear some Sox.
Yeah, we can talk Red Sox. So
I'm so angry at
the Red Sox offseason has been one that just was disappointing, which we knew at the end of the day. Bogarts, I didn't have a great feeling about him coming back.
Bro.
I honestly think Devers is gone now, so you might as well just trade him at this point because you're not going to pay him the money he wants.
Go to free agency.
If you went to go to free agency, he's gone. You're not going to pay him in free agency because you're not going to outbid the Mets. The Angels want to pay money now because the Angels they're not going to pay Ohtani.
Might be my favorite athlete right now. Like I love him.
I think he's gone. Right now.
I saw a report saying that like they're galaxies apart in negotiating.
Yeah, I've heard that multiple times too.
Dude?
And I mean, Bloom said that like he's ready to give like whatever he wants, but I mean,
that's all lip service in my opinion. I mean, he said he was working really hard to sign Xander Bogaerts. That never happened.
He had Schwarber too. We were interested in getting back. Then we let him go. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that have been going wrong. One thing I talked about last week that I don't blame Bloom for. I do blame him for what we got back in return for Mookie Betts. I don't blame him for trading Mookie Betts. I think that's an ownership decision saying $300 million is the most we're going to go. Trade him. We're not going to give him anything more than that. He should have got more back in return. As with Xander, though, if you knew Xander was probably going to walk during free agency, which in all likelihood I felt like 50-50, but as the season went on, I thought he was going to be gone anyways just because we weren't going to pay... We're not going to pay Mookie Betts. Why would he pay Xander? And I think Xander's good, but he's not the player that Mookie Betts is. That's just a reality.
It's true.
So I knew they were going to pay Xander. Why not trade him at the trade deadline? JD Martinez, you knew wasn't coming back. Why would you not trade him for something? That team was not a winning team, especially with that rotation. I love Rich Hill. He was the second best player in the team on the mound. I mean, it was tough. I love Rich Hill.
That's what I absolutely take it.
Interesting.
Rich Hill's a stud, absolute beast. He's coming on the pod at some point.
He's from Milton.
Yeah, he's coming on. He is from Milton. Milton High.
Yeah, he's a beast.
But yeah, I mean, we didn't really have pitching at all. And that was tough.
Dude,
Evaldi was hurt.
What are they going to do it?
He's still in time?
Hauk's probably going to be in the rotation, I think.
You think?
Evaldi, is he still out?
Still free agent.
That's been my opinion, too. I think he's going to come out as a starter.
I said Tanner Houck 2 years ago. I think his stuff is good enough to be a Cy Young.
He was nasty.
I think his stuff's good enough to be a Cy Young. That might be a hot take. I think his stuff's good enough.
That's pretty hot.
His stuff's good enough to be a Cy Young.
I don't think anybody in the entire industry of baseball is thinking that Tanner Houck is a...
No one thought Daniel Jones was... Did anybody think Daniel Jones was a top 12 quarterback? No.
Yeah, that's true.
Did anybody think Lamar Jackson would win MVP in 2019? No. Those are two things. I have hot takes that are wrong, too.
That one,
Wednesday night, I'll probably be wrong about Ohio State versus UMass.
I do like it, but it is a very hot take.
No, you got to have hot takes. That's why I do this, right? I mean, I'm not going to come in and just say...
It's fair to have hot takes.
I'm not going to come in and say every single year is going to be the Warriors versus the Celtics. I think that's just like everyone has that as their pick. Everyone had probably coming this year the Rams versus like whoever in the AFC, the Bills. That's what everyone had. It's I come in with hot takes.
I like
My
that.
NFL hot takes were not great. I mean, I'll say that. I had the Raiders and the Colts, which, you know, what
It's
can
been
you
a
do?
tough year, yeah.
I still don't buy into the Bills as much as most people do. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. But we'll get to that at some point when we talk
They
about
haven't
the
been
NFL.
as good as people thought they were.
I didn't think they were going to be that good. I think Josh Allen's good, but we'll get into that.
What's the what's the Sox rotation looking like right now?
Well, of all these, you're number one if you were to re-sign him, but we just aren't going to. Sale's going to be back in who knows when.
Yeah,
This was said
And for how
ready
long?
for.
He's gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
They said
gonna
probably spring training. Who knows? I doubt he'll be ready. Just that's go Sale for you.
Pavetta, I know.
Pavetta will probably
yeah.
be your 2. If you get Rich Hill back, he'd probably be your 3.
Dude, please tell me that guy's hanging him up.
Rich Hill? No, he's playing another year.
Dude, it's crazy.
He's playing another year.
He's so old.
I know he's playing another year. I talked to him.
45?
I talked to him. Yeah, he's 45. I talked to him a couple weeks ago. A month
If
ago.
I was 45, and I could still throw 90 miles an
I
hour,
was going to say, yeah.
I'd be. In the
I met
middle
him a
of the
few
field.
weeks ago or a month ago now. One of my classes, really good guy. He said he wants to play still, and he was a beast. He was a great guy. I talked baseball with him for a half hour. Just what we're doing right now is what
Think
we
about
did.
it.
Just
Think about
talking
his
baseball.
His life for the last
25 years,
25
basically, because
years,
he's minor leagues
yeah,
and then
has
majors.
been,
Yeah.
has been him. in the
2006 he made his
professional
debut,
ranks,
and then
crazy. More than half
2003
of
to
his life.
2006, I think it was
legit,
probably in the
like,
minors. But
his whole life is baseball.
He's been playing pro baseball longer than the rest of the
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's
It's
been a lot.
crazy.
He's
It's
been a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah, it's craziness. It's
yeah,
just-
he's a great guy.
That
Yeah,
is nuts, dude.
he's a great guy.
I think he's exactly what the Red Sox need. You need someone to come in and know exactly what you're getting, especially if you're putting Tanner Houck, maybe even Whitlock in the rotation.
Yeah.
It'd be Whitlock, Hauk, Bayo. Those 3 right now are
Bayo-
between the bullpen
Bayo
versus
excites
the
me,
rotation.
dude. He excites me. He throws gas.
Bayo throws gas just
So
out of control.
wild, bro.
Out of control.
So wild.
He walks versus
But
2 batters every
he's-
inning.
He's an exciting, like, I'm still
He's a prospect,
I'm
though.
calling him a prospect.
Oh, he's still a prospect. He's still a prospect at
He's
MLB.com.
not- Yeah, he's not
He's still a
Red Sox,
prospect.
Yeah,
like,
what do you
guy
need, like
yet.
80 innings?
Yeah, well, he also came up late, too. It's depending on when you come up, too, and it came up after
It's
July.
kind of
something,
unfortunate
but
that
80 innings
the Red
and something like
Sox are in need of pitching right now because he's not going to be able to develop the way he should probably in the minor leagues.
He's getting forced up.
But he's exciting. I like him.
that. The Red Sox number 1 right now, I'm actually not sure. Truly, like, I don't know who their number 1 would be right now.
Yeah,
I don't know
I don't
going
either.
in. Pavetta, I guess, would probably be number 1
Yeah.
somehow. Like, it'd probably be Pavetta, Bayo, Whitlock, Hauk, and then they got Cutter Crawford, who is in the rotation, but they might throw him back. Josh Winkowski started games too. Like, I actually don't know what their starting rotation would be. If I could get my dad on here at the end, he'll tell you what he thinks. He breaks down the Red Sox always. He'll give you his opinions, which I love. But that's the thing, though. I actually don't know what their rotation is going to look like come April. Come spring training. I mean, we don't have anyone signed really that's a big name pitcher. I mean, of those guys we named,
We got a closer now.
we don't have any. We got Kenny Jansen. That's a good signing.
Yeah.
Chris Martin for
Hey,
the bullpen, pretty good.
We have a great closer, but we aren't going to win that many games.
We're the worst team in the AL East by
I
far.
mean,
So-
they
It's
can't
not even
decide.
close.
They can't decide whether they're going for it or they're not going
Yeah,
for it.
they got to make up their
Need
mind.
urgency.
Because, I mean, look at the Braves. They decided what, like 3-4 years ago. They're
Michael
like,
Harris,
our team
Acuna.
is horrible. We
We're
need
going for
we
it,
need to
yeah.
absolutely rebuild, and they did that.
Well, then they paid all the guys
sold
young.
everyone. They
That's one
sold
smart
everyone
thing.
and brought in a ton of prospects. The Red Sox, on the other hand, they're letting Bogarts go. They're letting JD go.
They're
They're
letting
letting,
Devers walk.
they're letting Eovaldi go, but then at the same time they're signing Trevor Story. They're signing Kenley Jansen. They need to make up their mind because
was that,
because you could get an absolute haul for Devers,
Yeah.
and you could probably still get a bunch for Story if they
foreign
decide to
side.
trade him. They can get a ton for Verdugo.
Masataka Yoshida.
Yeah, dude,
Is it
he is
swing?
the-
Masataka
Yeah,
Yoshida
yeah,
is
Yoshida.
a Japanese baseball player.
His swing.
He gets on base
is
a ton.
the
Sango went
nicest-
to the Mets.
He has the nicest
Oh,
swing
right.
I've ever seen in my life.
No, he gets on
So
base. He's an on-base
smooth, bro.
machine.
So smooth. And, bro, he hit like 315 or something.
Career,
Yeah.
7 years there in
Which is
Japan. Yeah,
nuts.
he's great. No, he's good. But at the end of the day, that does solve a hole. But I think pitching is more of a need right now
Yeah.
than
I think
anything
he'll
else.
probably be our leadoff hitter.
But I think they're talking right now as a leadoff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the talk is right now. Kike, I never was a Kike fan, but him being the leadoff hitter was one of the most depressing things I've seen in the Red Sox in the last 5 years. You knew it was an automatic strike on stock games. You know what they should have done? Just say 1 out, stop the game. Whoever's batting second, let them get up. It was tough. I know Mark's a big Kike guy. I never was a big fan.
I
of
loved
him.
his run in the
I'm not a
postseason.
big
I mean,
Oh, I don't
but
like him at all.
catch?
I
but
never was
over
a Kike
162
fan.
game
Who's
season.
gonna catch?
Who's gonna catch? Right now, the only catcher we have on the team is
Reese
Reese
McGuire.
McGuire. That's it.
What
Only
happened
one.
to Plawecki?
Pilecki's free agent. We cut Pilecki mid-season in September. We DFA'd him. The whole locker room was pissed about it. We weren't good anyways, so might as well just kept him on the team.
And
but
no more Vasquez, right?
Vasquez a free agent. No, Vasquez just signed. Vasquez
Twins?
signed. Twins. Yeah, Vasquez signed. So the only catcher we have on the roster
Dude,
right now is
Vasquez,
McGuire. And
Vasquez
then
just said, see
Connor
you later,
Wong.
won a World Series, and then
Yeah. Well, Connor Wong
yeah.
probably will end up getting the call up. I mean, he's been in the major leagues off and on a couple times. He was the other prospect on that Mookie Betts deal with Jeter Downs. We just DFA'd. Just shows how bad of a trade that was. I love Verdugo, which here's the thing. I think I just looked at it the other day. What we got back in return for Mookie at the time, obviously didn't work out. We did get Verdugo, who was the number 1 prospect. He was 35th, I think, in the MLB the season before that. He played 2 years, so he's no longer a prospect. during that at the time of the trade. Connor Wong was their 30th prospect ranked. He was not high at all, so I don't know why that was in the deal. But Jeter Downs was their number 3 prospect, and they weren't going to trade the number 2 prospect, who was Dustin May. He ended up being the number 1 at the time of the trade. But we did get back their number 1 and number 3 prospects, which the Dodgers, I think the most well-run team in all of sports. So whoever they have in their farm system, you know, is probably going to be good. So maybe the Red Sox took a gamble and said, we hope Jeter Downs is going to be good since he was the 3rd-ranked guy. But trade out not working out. I don't blame Bloom for that trade, though. I blame for what we got back in return. I do blame him. That's an ownership decision saying we're not going to pay Mookie Betts $30 million. If you're going to pay anyone, Mookie's 5 times the player by 4 times the player Bogarts is talent, like value-wise. I'll say value, and then Devers. I still think he's double Devers. Mookie Betts is number 1 and number 2, 3, 4, 5 in baseball. Top 5 talent. Devers,
That's a fact.
Top 20, top 15. Bogarts, top 40 probably. Like, neither one of those guys, that's what I mean by top 4. Like, none of them are going to be top 10 in anyone's eyes. Mookie Betts, if you're naming your top 10 players in baseball, Mookie Betts is in there. Xander, probably around 40, 50 now. I mean, he only had 15 home runs this year, so he's not going to be top 40 or 50 probably now. Maybe like 50.
I love the way Mookie Betts
Devers would probably be top 30. Devers would be probably top 30. But
and I think he's young
top
too,
20.
you know.
Yeah.
Top 20 or 30. I don't know.
The way Devers plays is like, that's what I try to do. It's like, dude, just have fun. Like, he's a kid out there.
Yeah.
It literally looks like he's a child sometimes. He's like, how much fun he's having.
Smile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a giant thing of tobacco in his mouth. That's
Yeah. His cheek is literally like 3 inches.
No, he's a stud.
Big chip.
I think he's gone, though. I don't think they're going to re-sign
No,
him.
yeah.
Which, dude, I think they're trying to make us mad. Like Vasquez in the middle of the season. Then no Bogarts, no Devers. Like,
Chris still getting hurt. I mean,
it's going to be a completely new team.
Benintendi
in like
trade
2
was
years.
tough because,
Yeah.
I mean, you got Josh Winkowski back. He's not the best. He's okay, I
The
guess.
Sox are notorious for
and then
trading
Frenchie
on players that are
Cordero.
nasty.
Yeah.
Cordero's abysmal. He traded, got Jackie Bradley Jr. back. I'm a big JBJ guy, but Renfroe trading those 30 home runs was a bad decision.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Schwarber
30
walked,
home runs and
50 home runs,
probably
46
the
home runs
best
last year.
arm in right field.
Yeah. Kyle Schwarber, what, 47 home runs
Yeah,
last
Kyle
year?
Schwarber, second most homers in the league.
Yeah,
Obviously.
46 home
Schwarber
runs.
was like a
Number 1
bench
in the
bat
NL.
for the Red Sox. He was like a bench bat for
He
a while.
played outfield though too.
He was hurt.
But,
It's
crazy.
We
Like,
got him in July
he's
2021.
He's nasty.
That good. Yeah. That
Yeah,
good.
he's
Yeah.
a force.
Like,
yeah.
he's
Imagine
he's
we
a
still
top
have- yeah.
tenner.
Oh,
he's
easy.
a top tenner.
Easy.
Home runs wise, yeah, I mean, talent.
I think, dude,
power, yeah.
Schwarber's swing is another swing that's just like, you look at it and you're like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there were some balls he hit in the postseason this year that, like, you're like, how did that ball go that far? Like, there was one ball, it was like over the
We
strike
were
zone.
the
It was like a
Phillies.
foot foul,
Phillies.
but like he took it like it was insane how that ball
The
flies. Like
Phillies
his
powder
swing is
blues,
nuts.
Elite uniforms.
so sick.
Elite
Yeah.
uniforms. But that's the thing, though. I think the magnitude maybe of the 4 times and 2 times is tough because I don't really know how you judge a player based on that. But I think Mookie Betts, top 5 player in baseball. I don't see Xander as that, and I don't see Devers as that. If you're trading Mookie Betts, I don't know how you can do that. I don't know.
I mean,
That's
the
where
Red
they
Sox
lost me.
should have the Red Sox should have just ate David Price's money and gotten more for
Mookie.
Mookie.
That's why.
But-
That's why we didn't get as much back in return. It's a great point by Dan
That is another
because
good
they
point,
chewed
yeah.
17 of that, or 16 of that 32 million that we owed them. I think he was getting 7 for 210 was his deal, so 31 million. I think they chewed 14 or 17 of it. We chewed the other 17 or 14, whatever it was. So
Yeah, I mean, like if the Red Sox kept his money, maybe they have Dustin May right now. Maybe they do.
They didn't want to trade Dustin May. That was a big part of that whole fiasco of that trade was they didn't want to trade him in that deal. And I thought that would have been a great return for the Red Sox. We ended up not getting it. But as I said, I don't blame Bloom for that because I don't know how you can get a job within 2 months and say, oh, yeah, the best idea for this team is to trade Mookie Betts.
Dude, I think
I don't know
the
how you
Woo
get
Sox,
that.
I think the Woo Sox are going to sell out more games this year.
Probably. Jaron Durant, my boy. You know I'm a big Durant guy. Everyone knows I'm a big Durant guy in there. Durant's my boy. I hope he turns it around. He's a stud. I hope he turns it around.
I like Durant. I like Durant. I actually like Dahlbeck.
Dahlbeck's on the trade block. They're going to trade him, they said.
I actually like
I met
Dahlbeck.
Dahlbeck.
I don't understand the
beginning
direction
of
of
the
the team. It's just
They don't have a direction. I'll tell you
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I think Bloom has a great mind for baseball, but I think he's really a small... Because what he did for his whole career, I mean, 10 years he was with the Rays, he really only has the perspective of running a small
market
payroll.
team. Yeah.
Small market team, very small payroll, 60, 75 million. He can't take a $220 million payroll because he doesn't know where to build. I mean, he wants to build a farm system, but a team that should win right now, when he started out, it was a roster with J.D. Martinez, Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, Andrew Benintendi, Rafael Devers. That's 5 All-Stars right there.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do because at the end of the day, the Rays never really had 7, 8 All-Stars, especially with
Yeah.
those guys making as much money as they were doing. I mean, they have really good pitching, the Rays, but all of the Rays guys are just guys they built through their farm system, which those guys are just named for the Red Sox the most part. A lot of them are farm system guys besides J.D. Martinez. But he doesn't know what it's like to run a team, I don't think, that can spend $230 million.
The Rays also have the worst stadium in all of
Tropicana.
Easy.
in all of professional sports.
Horrible.
It's so bad.
Polar Park is better.
Rogers said it's
It's
not
not
even a Toronto though. Rogers said the ball hits the top every single game, just like
I think
at
that one's
Tropicana.
cool though, because it has the
The grass in the infield.
no, it has the hotel inside.
Yeah,
the field.
and outfield,
That's
yeah.
so sick.
That is cool, yeah. But yeah, it hits the top though every game. Just
Oh,
like
yeah,
it does in
it does, it
Tropicana.
does.
Both games, both places. Rogers Center in there, but yeah, I don't know the direction of the Red Sox. I don't know what they're going to do. But I'm a big Hope guy, so hopefully he turns around. Hopefully they get Rich Hill back, since I'm a big Rich Hill guy too. And I hope Jaron Duran does play better. But what are you guys' expectations for the season? Probably 5th division? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even a bad... Because the Orioles, mind you, people don't know about the Orioles. They have 6 prospects in the top 100.
Rodriguez, Henderson.
Rodriguez,
We won a World
Henderson.
Series 4
Yeah.
years ago, and now we're sitting here talking about how bad we're going to be next year.
Well, I think Dave Dombrowski, that's why I had the Phillies going to the World Series after being the season. He just knows how to win. He doesn't care about prospects. At the end of the day, when you take a team that has the talent that the Phillies had, and you say, screw it, we have Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, and Bryce Harper, why not build to try to win right now? That's the mentality you need. And the Red Sox mentality when Bloom came in was, we got to cut the payroll. We want to be under the luxury tax.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. I don't blame Bloom for
And
everything.
yeah.
For everything, I don't blame him, because it is an ownership thing. I think, which this is switching sports here. I think when the Giants traded Odell Beckham, I think that was ownership. I don't think that was a Dave Gettleman saying, hey, we should trade Odell because it makes our team better. I think it was John Maris saying he's a distraction. At the end of the day, this team's going nowhere. Trade him. Get back what you can in return. I think that's kind of what the Bloom thing is. I think ownership. I don't know how you could say trading Mookie Betts, trading Odell Beckham Jr. makes a team better. Yeah. I don't know how it does. It might have worked out for the Giants since Odell really has done much since then. Had two injury plague seasons. Did win a Super Bowl with the Rams, but I don't know how you could trade those guys and make your teams better. I don't know. So Devers, what do you think? Right now, go around the room. Is Devers a Boston Red Sox at this time next season?
No.
Because he'll probably sign by
I
December
say no.
19th next year.
I say no.
So Ryan, no.
No, I say no. I say he waits. I say he sees what happened in the market this offseason and how much money guys got, and he says, if I wait it out, I'm going to get even more, and I'm going to go somewhere else. And I know this team's not going to pay me just like they didn't pay Xander Bogaerts, you know? They're not going to match the money. He'll get somewhere else.
Liam?
Yeah, I agree. If I had a crystal ball, my guess, I think the Twins would be a great spot for him. I think.
Why not? They can spend.
I think they have the money for that. They got They have
and
Buxton,
Correa, they're
Vasquez,
supposed to be 3 of
exactly.
5. He's obviously
They have a
off that
bunch of
payroll
guys.
now,
I feel like
so.
that'd be a great spot for him. Vasquez is already there, like we were talking about earlier. But no, there's no way he's a Red Sox next year.
I think he's gone too. So at this point, would you trade him? Or would you just keep him for the 1 year?
Trade him. I mean, look at you. Got to figure out, like Dan said, like you can't just be
One
can't
foot in,
sign
one foot
Story and then be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Exactly.
That was the
You
Giants'
gotta-
problem. The
gotta
New York
know,
Giants
you
problem. It's
know?
not San Francisco. New York Giants problem for years. We were 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We never went full rebuild. That's what we did this year, but we're rebuilding while winning, which is hard to do. So that's obviously tough. Dan, what's your opinion?
I also think he's going to be traded. Because I mean,
To the New York Mets.
I think everyone's gonna get so mad if the same thing happens with Devers that happened with Bogarts. I think everyone's gonna be so pissed that happened. So, and you really got to get something back for him. You can't do this thing where like you hope you re-sign him and then just give him like a tiny offer. What was it? They offered.
Last year was 10 for
they offered
200.
Bogarts what like 3 for
6 for 162 was the most. His last offer from the Red Sox was 6 for 162.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like.
Which isn't much.
You can't let that possibly happen again. So I think they're gonna try and do like a sort of like Juan Soto deal where they try and just ship him off early and try and maximize the prospect potential. But then you also have Trevor Story on the Bucks for another like 5 years.
4 more after this season. Yeah.
So,
6 years, 140.
So I literally have no idea where the heck this organization is going. I think they need a rebuild.
That's
I think
probably
they
where
absolutely need it.
It's probably where we're heading, obviously, the rebuild. So we'll see. There is a question. Paul, you want to ask Jacob it?
Quick change of subject. First, I want to say shout out to Mackenzie. She just tuned in.
Mackenzie, thank you for
That's
listening.
my wonderful girlfriend. And then Jacob has a quick story.
Riley.
Requested by James.
Riley.
Do you want to talk about your co-worker ambulance situation?
I wasn't even there for that.
Uh-oh.
James
What happened to your coworker?
Literally, I don't know. I just drove by. There was an ambulance. I didn't drive by. I drove in.
Yeah, you don't drive.
Yeah, I didn't drive. And then I get a text from James like, "Yeah, your coworker's in the hospital." I'm like, "What?" And it was it's one of my coworkers. She's an old lady. She's very nice. She insists everyone call her Miss Jerry, not Jerry. James was like, "Yeah, she had a stroke, dude." I was like, "What?"
It's terrible.
And then he kept telling everybody that he's like, "Yeah, you know Jacob Curley? I'm his cousin." I'm his cousin. He kept saying it. But she didn't even have a stroke. She just was like really tired. or something. I don't know. It's
So
not
that was
really that
so-
interesting of a
All right,
story.
so
I had to call the
everything
ambulance.
works out good. All's well that
I wasn't
ends
even
well.
there.
Yes.
I
All's
wasn't
well
even
that
there.
ends well at Staples. In
I
Dorchester.
said I should have.
In Neponset.
I can't even say I should have got that. Look at that. I wasn't even there. But no, it's not that interesting.
Alright.
I literally like Staples.
The hype was there for that story.
I have
I know.
one
The hype was there for that story,
I
dude.
have one.
The build up.
Say that.
No, I literally.
I know.
I'm
Paul was
sorry,
ready for a
Paul.
half hour.
I have one interesting story. Well, I guess it's not that. It's kind of interesting. But I work at Copy Center. You get a lot of weirdos and nuts that come up to you. But there's some nice people there too. There's an old lady I helped that was very nice. But
Yin and yang, give and the take, everything's
OD. But I was literally like grinding that day, like I always do. And I'm a terrible storyteller. But I was grinding and there was one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, I heard Jacob something paper." And I was like, "Oh, did I forget to fill the paper?" So I followed her because I was like, "Oh, maybe I should like fill this whatever she needed to show me." And this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Yeah, you should." I need to swear because this is like. I know I'm not supposed to. But
Hold on,
he's
pause.
Like, he's like, you need to. Yeah, believe it. You need to check the fucking cameras because my fucking thing got stolen. And the dude is yelling at me. This big buff dude, like 50 years old, it like has an army vest on. So I didn't know what to do. And I was like, what? He's like, you need to check the fucking camera because you fucking made me lose my fucking stuff. And I was like, I don't even like. I didn't know how to respond. I thought I was.
Know that Jacob is 50 pounds with a.
5'5", 50 pounds.
I thought I was gonna
Soaking wet.
I thought the guy was gonna grab me by my like shirt and like beat the hell out of me.
You do a toast.
And then my coworker's like, "Don't yell at him. Don't put your anger towards him." He didn't. It was not even an interesting story, bro. Like that's like
That's
literally
not that
not.
story though.
Like,
So what'd you mess up?
I didn't do anything. Like, I literally, this guy just took his anger
So
out
the
on
guy
me.
just started yelling at
So,
someone else
like,
after?
he literally left
He's
like
gonna
something important in
Oh,
like
you
the copy machine.
Hold on, we're taking a mid episode selfie here because this is when we're on the podcast Instagram. Shout out people we had in us too. So, PG, you win it?
He's in.
Where is Paul?
He's behind me.
Oh,
Nice.
There we
All
go.
right, the whole gang's in it.
I didn't even notice.
Dan the man has to go, unfortunately. He has a final tomorrow and something else to do, right?
Grind. On
He's
the
here
grind.
for us, though. He's here. So, Dan,
This close to
say goodbye to
Christmas
Paul.
to a
Thank you so
finals.
much for coming on. Dan the man, King of
thanks,
Hasbrouck
yeah.
Heights. Thank you for coming to the stew. Appreciate it, my boy.
Thanks for having me.
My absolute dog. And you can hear the dap, too, live. So, it works out, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Good, hey. Good luck in the
See you,
final,
man.
bro.
Yeah, good
Nice
luck.
seeing
You absolute beast. What a dog. We didn't get to talk the workout regimen, though. Do you skip a day in the gym, really quick?
1 day per week. 1 day per week.
6 out of 7 days in the gym
6 out
grinding.
of 7 days, kids going
6
to
out
work.
of 7 days. How was the gym today?
It's pretty sick. Hit some pull.
You beast. All right, have a good one. Thank you for coming in.
All right, I'll see you
Hit
boys.
some nice pull. Hit some nice pull.
I apologize for the audience for my terrible storytelling.
Dude, yeah, that was
I literally
abysmal,
can't-
chick. I don't think you can do it again.
I'm
No, I'm kidding.
I'm terrible.
All right.
But I can be funny. Don't worry.
All right, so we talked baseball, obviously. We'll run through a couple things before we jump in. Obviously, it's 10:21 now, and we're hoping to go out, weren't we? So we'll run through the topics, all right?
Yeah, we're
Just,
gonna
we're
go
going to
out.
run through. It's going to be speed rounds here. 5 minutes.
Here we go.
St. Michael's baseball 2023 season. You open up the season against Catawba in North Carolina. Ryan Hosea, what are your predictions for the season? How do you feel about the season? Expectations? How's the offseason going? Anything you want to start with? That's up to you. I know I just rambled things, but it's open, basically.
I think that St. Mike's baseball is going to shock the NE10 this year. And,
I like that. I like it.
Yeah, I think for a long time, St. Mike's baseball and just St. Mike's athletics has kind of been like the bottom of the league. And I don't think a lot of people are expecting us to do anything special, but I think the team we have this year and the direction we've been heading in, like in the last 3 years, it's really changed a lot, and I think a lot more people are starting to like buy in to that winning culture and trying to figure out the best ways to have our team finally come together, and because we fight a lot as a team.
I think that happens in any locker room, right?
Yeah,
There always gonna be
yeah,
issues,
so,
right?
but,
Like,
like-
you have 20, 30 guys in the locker room, there's going to be issues.
Yeah, right now though, like everyone's getting along, which is good, and just practices have been going better. Like we're doing a lot more baseball now rather than just other stuff like.
There's your profile
like
right
that,
there. I
yeah.
love the beard of that picture. It's great.
Yeah.
Number
The
28,
beard was
Ryan
long in that
Hosea.
one.
You should say, why don't you mention your music in there? You should mention your music in there.
Ryan.
Seriously, I'm
Ryan,
serious. You should say
Fat.
Phat
I
Hosea.
don't write it.
Yeah.
You should mention your music. Say I rap. And
I don't write it.
Oh, you don't write
No,
that?
you don't what?
Oh, actually, you don't? No.
No.
What? What do you think that? Oh no, you
Boston Collegiate
you
Charter
send
School.
all
There's a
that.
couple questions.
You
they
send all
write
that
for
information.
you.
Yeah, you send all that information.
Okay, I didn't know
to your
that.
school,
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
We
I
should
didn't know
shout
that.
out the coaches, Nylinger and Who's the other guy?
Maddie.
The other
One
guy.
with no thumbs.
Hey,
Maddie.
is it something we should rewind? No? Okay, I don't know. I mean, the other day we can rewind, reboot. I don't know what he said, but it's all good. Is Coach going to listen an hour and 45 minutes into this episode? Probably not. So I think we'll be good. He's not going to hit 138, 36 probably.
I don't think he's gonna be listening to this podcast.
No, I think we're good then. So whatever we said about Coach, it's all
We can
right.
cut it out anyways, right?
Should we cut it?
Yeah.
No, Ryan says keep it. I don't know what he said, but hey, 2-time
Okay.
any 10 academic honor roll.
Yeah.
2-time. That's terrible.
I was hoping for one more time this time around, but
And the teacher screwed you over.
yeah, I fumbled the bag for
You were 4 for
one
that
of them.
for high school, right? You were 4 for that. In high school.
yeah. I got honor roll every
That's finished
single-
senior year
all-
very strong. No joke though, actually. You did finish
Yeah,
strong senior.
I think
That's not a joke.
going into senior year, I think I had like a 2.0 flat, and to play college baseball, you needed a 2.3, and I calculated exactly how much homework I would have to do to get exactly. I graduated with like a 2.31. So like I calculated it like down to like each assignment. Like
Yeah, but you're a
I was
smart
like
kid.
if I do this one and I get 100 on it, I'll get a 2.32. Like I can't get 100 on this one. Like I gotta get a couple questions wrong so I get the 2.3 flat.
What?
I was 0.01 off.
Something happened to BCS because you're a smart kid. I don't know how that happened.
You do have, you just don't have the drive to want
Yeah,
to. You
it's
just
not
don't care.
his. It's not even drive, it's want.
Yeah, you just
did.
don't want to.
I had honestly,
are a smart
honestly
kid.
what happened with me in academics, I had one bad teacher. One
was
bad
it?
teacher
Oh, no, don't
changed.
say it.
changed
Don't say it.
Mr. Greenfield.
Yeah, it was
Mr.
him.
Greenfield.
I
Who
honestly don't even care.
cares?
I really don't care.
That dude got fired for ripping up the
know.
MCAS.
He
did.
can
He
know.
did actually get fired at you, no jokes. It's okay.
He can know that he ruined my academics.
And he ruined his own life.
I was going to Harvard, bro.
You're on the track.
He did.
I'll tell you that. One thing I did get wrong, though, originally when I looked at your schedule last week, you opened up against Catawba in North Carolina,
I don't
March
even know if we're
11th.
playing them
Now
anymore.
it's at Pace. You still play them at Pace February 25th, a Saturday. You play 4 games there, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday.
They're on the other
Baseball
side
season
of
starts
the
in February.
N10.
Well, yeah, pretty cold. It'll be chilly. What's it like playing in Vermont in the cold? That's actually a good question. Like training,
It's
practicing,
not,
playing.
It's
like
not fun. So we don't really even like get outside until like a week before we.
Start the season.
so it's indoor
yeah.
complexes
Yeah.
stuff.
So like we're
That's not
we're
that
hitting
bad.
in cages and stuff, and it kind of sucks because like
Oh.
we have 30
That's
whatever players on our team, and we're all trying to
You
like hit, pitch, and all that stuff, and we're in a tiny facility in Vermont, and it's just freezing cold in the morning at like 5 a.m. and everyone's just miserable. But we make it work, and I don't know. I think we're gonna shock the N10 this year.
So out of the games, which I feel like a lot of people just say the first game, but what game are you looking forward to most? Is there an opponent you're looking forward to most? A game, a home stand,
I'm really excited.
first home stand? I don't know.
I'm really excited for the North Carolina trip. We're playing.
Yeah, Catawba.
We're playing some really good teams down there.
And they got Ryan.
Each team we are playing in North Carolina, they all played the team that won the D2 World Series last year, and they all beat them.
Mount Olive too. Wow.
Yeah, so
All of 'em.
they're all really, really good baseball teams. So
Definitely.
that's gonna be like the first time in a while. Like I'm gonna be playing against like MLB prospects. Like
That's awesome.
Sick.
Hey,
like obviously
you're up to yourself.
Southern New Hampshire and Franklin Pierce have guys that like are probably gonna sign somewhere or something.
Assumption
but, like,
probably, too.
they have. Well, yeah, Assumption just had Jack Choate get
Yeah.
drafted.
So yeah,
wicked
Assumption
high.
has guys get drafted.
As a junior, Jack Choate got drafted as a junior out of D2, which is crazy.
Yeah, they have guys drafted.
Watching that kid pitch is something else. Like he was nasty.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. And then, obviously, now you're a senior. What are your expectations for the season, playing wise? I know you've been working on your off speed stuff. What do you look forward to most? What pitch? I don't know. I know you've been working a lot on your off speed stuff. Your sinker, your slider, your and all that.
Yeah.
Is there a pitch you look forward to throwing most? You've been grinding, or
Yeah, I've really been liking change-ups lately. Because, I mean, I don't throw very fast to start with, but when you throw a ball, like, in the mid-70s, and someone, like, starts to time that up, and then you mix one in that's in the high 60s, like, that's a very slow pitch, but it's super effective, especially at this level of baseball, because, I mean, me being a sidearm pitcher is, like, another look anyways, so having, like, people have like different looks in the game is always a good thing to have like those different angles, different velocities and stuff like that in the bullpen.
that's cool though. That's awesome. And one thing about you is you caught your whole high school career, so now you know the game from a catching perspective. What's it like from a pitching perspective now? Jumping now, rather being the guy that's calling the pitches, now you have to agree.
Yeah,
what you want to
so
catch. What's that like?
At St. Mike's, our coach actually calls the pitches for us, so like I have to kind of listen to what he says. But I mean, I can shake him off and stuff. But like most of the time, like the pitch that I'm planning on throwing is what my coach also thinks I should throw, which makes me feel confident in my like calling. Because I mean, I don't know how many perfect games of no hitters I either caught. Or,
we're going to talk about that in a second.
performed.
We jump into Canes baseball talk.
Yeah.
We will jump into that.
So I don't know. I think I call the game pretty well and have a good understanding of that stuff. So
I'll say this. All right, now we're going to jump into Canes baseball. How many times did I shake you off in my career when I was pitching and you were catching?
just once.
I think I did once. You came to the mound immediately, and said, "Do not shake me off again." I could tell the fury in your eyes. I was like, "Okay, dude, he does not want me to shake him off." I was like, "He wants to kill me right now. I can see it." I was like, "I'm not going to shake him off." And what did you tell me to throw though? We had a bad game. We looked around. We were down, I think 8-3 or something. I came in the third inning, bases loaded. We were already going to lose, and you said to me, "Hey, what pitch did you tell me to throw?" And I started working on it.
Throw the knuckleball.
Throw the knuckle? You told me to throw the knuckle. Hey, what happened after that? It became my pitch.
Yeah, it did. And dude, it's funny though, because like we were literally just playing catch with it, and
For like a couple weeks of practice.
we were
and
really
stuff,
just
right?
playing catch with it, and I was like, dude, this is like a legit pitch. Like, it actually like
It moves.
it actually would be effective. Like you need to start throwing it, and then when you started throwing it, I think you saw the success it had right away.
Definitely. I know. I learned a
Especially
lot.
in a league like that, those kids have never seen a knuckleball before. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I would throw
I
knuckleballs
still
in 3-0
haven't.
counts. Kenny didn't face me, unfortunately, but I would throw knuckleballs in 3-0 counts because I had confidence in that was going to be a strike.
Me and you both too, like worked on you getting the confidence to throw the knuckleball.
Definitely. I talked about this yesterday to Dan, actually, after I got off the FaceTime with you I had. And I said, truly, everything I learned about the game and the confidence I got in my pitching was from you. No joke. I don't know anyone else that loves the game of baseball as much as you do, and I love it a lot.
I think you do.
I love the game of baseball a lot. I do. I think you love it more than I do. I think you're number one. Maybe I can be second in that. Why not? Right? It's not a bad category. I can be second in, but your love for the game of baseball made me love it even more. And I think that passion of me being on the mound, you catching, I was just always learning.
And it was cool. Just
I was always learning.
being family members too. Like the fact that we're cousins, dude, and like Joey on our team at one point.
Joey Hosea, the ace.
And like me and you were just like we barely even knew each other when we were younger, and then
We didn't see each other much.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
would
and
see each
then-
other every
and
now and
then-
then. The Kelly Favorite Christmas
and then
party.
we're on the same team, like, and I'm catching for you, like it was just crazy.
There was no time better when I went to Joey Marilari's game. I think it was your state final.
Yeah, Salem.
I had no-
semis, yeah.
Mind you, I have no idea how baseball works.
My
but
senior year,
I was fighting with someone from the other crowd.
Salem
screaming.
Academy. My
And-
mom and Paul were getting into it.
And
with
Mama
Bucky.
Mayalari comes over after the ump comes over to me and says, "If you
Silence.
say one more thing, and I'm going to kick you out and call the police." She says, "Okay, don't say another thing." She gives me a horn, and that's all I get. And he couldn't say anything to me after that.
You just started hammering it. Because Salem, do you remember we played Salem like my freshman year, your sophomore year, they like brought drums and stuff, they were banging on the benches and stuff.
Dude,
like
they were different.
they brought cowbells, like they were like singing,
They
like
were different.
they had like raps and everything. They were singing and banging the drums and stuff. Like,
that was probably I hated playing against them.
do you remember you got them in trouble because they were cheating with their
happy
bats?
I'm so happy we got to beat them in a championship once.
Oh, it was elite.
That was
elite.
that was my favorite like championship I think I've ever won in my life.
Yeah, I forgot. I actually did forget you were on the team because you missed a whole month. No,
Not
I
the
actually
not the
forgot.
championship team.
It wasn't.
The team that we
one that-
went to see
the one
when we
that
went to
went
play it
against
at we
the-
played at
Lost
BC.
at
We played
BC
at
High.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got you.
That's the
Okay,
game.
see, I knew you were on that team.
I was on that team.
I
the
thought you were
next
talking
year.
the championship
No,
winning
no,
team. I was gonna
no,
say I didn't
no.
know you were on the team. I actually didn't know that, but I remember you were sick for a year, so I didn't realize it was that team. But I knew you were on the team that year because that was his senior year, my junior year, sophomore year. So I remembered that. But obviously, being on the same team as Rye, though, what was it like for you being on the same team as Rye? Because he's not bored, but then also
God.
as a teammate, though, he doesn't treat you like he's your boy. Though he's always he's fired up, he's ready to go. You screw around, doesn't matter if you're his boy or not.
Yeah, so at that point,
It's the truth. It's the truth. You screw around, he's pissed.
I didn't even really know Ryan as a friend. I was one of the newer guys on the team. First year at Boston Collegiate, I knew Mark, and I met him through you and stuff like that. I never really met Ryan or really talked to Ryan, so he was just a funny guy in the locker room. Or in the dugout.
In the dugout.
Sorry,
Locker
hockey.
room. I mean,
Sorry,
you don't
hockey.
really got the locker room.
I got the
CCS.
hockey reference. Oh
Moakley
yeah,
Park.
definitely not there. Yeah, Moakley Park. Yeah, but
The turf.
no, it definitely. I think I asked him a couple questions one of the first year because I think Schwartz was trying to throw me a catcher, because I couldn't do anything else on the baseball field. But
Tell the truth. You were looking for a catcher, though. You said you could play, and
well, yeah, I played when I was like 12. But you
you did catch me a couple games.
Yeah, I know. But Ryan was definitely helpful with that kind of stuff, just giving a couple small pointers and that kind of stuff.
Definitely. I think the one great thing about you is you never liked when people walked to their position on the field. You screamed at me. Remember?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like we were up like 15 runs. I was walking to my time, and you
I take baseball.
you like, do you love
seriously.
baseball? I'm like, yeah. You're like, then why are you walking? I was like, oh, okay.
Well, it's
I
like,
mean, you're not
it's like
wrong.
you're getting to play a kid's game when you're in high school. Like you're older, yeah. Like you're older. Like don't take that for granted. Like, you're playing a kid's game and you still get to play it. Like, run to your position.
Definitely.
Like, get out there and play hard. Like,
We had some glory days. Let's talk about the no-nos.
respect the game.
Let's talk about the no-nos. You caught a no-hitter for me twice.
no-nos.
No-hitter, no-no. It's his nickname.
Yeah.
I threw a no-hitter once, and then I threw a combined no-hitter with you.
Me. I caught the first, like, 3 innings.
4 innings, and
Yeah.
then you pitched the last 2 and 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we smoked them. I don't even think.
Oh, it might have been 3 and 3. We pitched like 3 and 2 innings. Might have been 5 innings. We beat them
But I
in.
don't
First
think-
round of state tournament.
No, I think you threw 4. I think I only threw 1.
Yeah, I think we beat them by 10-0,
soldered
right?
them, yeah. I think we
11-1 or
soldered
something.
them.
11-0. Oh, we didn't give up a run. I walked.
no,
I walked a guy. You didn't give up any base runs out of the one inning. I walked a guy like in the first inning, which
That-
I would always to find my.
That year, I didn't let up a hit in the regular season.
I remember that.
Not a single. I only pitched 3 times, but.
Can we talk about you though when you played only in the away games because that was just the only time you could play and you had a
Yeah,
you had a
that was
combined
absurd.
you had a perfect game
Well,
going.
in that league. Yeah, in that league, it's only like you only play 12 games we played probably.
Yeah, I think it was 15 games, 14
Yeah, so-
games,
Yeah, including
which we
the
tried
playoffs.
for 20. We argued so hard to
Oh,
get 20 games.
Dude,
we could
it
never
was
get
absurd.
it.
So I wasn't academically eligible right away, so I can only really do the away games. So like I literally would pitch once a week when we would play an away game. I threw 2 no-hitters I think, and then had a perfect game but got taken out before I could finish it.
And we ended up
I
almost
was so
losing
mad
the game. It was
about
8-0 and ended up
I
being
was so mad
8-7.
about that,
We're not going to bring names up, but it was 8-7, bases loaded, 2 outs, and we almost lost the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
And
I
Quinn
don't-
had to go in
I'm
and close.
I'm so mad that, like, to this day, that I didn't get to finish that.
Yeah, you got taken out early. And
Bro, and do you remember?
You had a home run.
I almost
2 home
lost
runs.
the perfect game. I threw a knuckleball, actually. I threw a knuckleball to a lefty. And it started on one side of the plate, and it hit him, like, in the thigh. And he swung at it. And, like, I almost lost it. I would have hit him if he didn't swing. And I would have lost the perfect game. But, dude, he swung, and I made him look silly.
And it works, though.
Yeah,
That's a
I
try-
struck him
that's a-
out. I struck him out. It was a full count. I struck him out with a knuckleball that hit him. I felt like the man. I was like, wow, that kid is not good at baseball.
I love those kids' baseball. I still miss it. I still wish me and Liam got a
Yeah.
championship run together.
I
We were
Yeah.
close.
peaked in high school when I was at
We did lose in the state championship.
Yeah, not like you're a college athlete or anything, you know.
Yeah.
I do miss those days, though. I miss playing on the same team as you, truly. I do. And
Yeah.
miss Liam,
You
both.
really don't even like understand while you're in the moment, like how like much that shit actually is gonna mean to you in the,
Till it's
the rest
gone.
of your life. Yeah.
Till it's gone.
Well,
I
dude,
still
just
miss
think
every
about
day.
it.
I
Just
think
think
about
about it.
baseball.
Like
I want to throw every single day.
had we not played sports together, like who knows how close we would be.
That's one
You
thing.
know what I
And
mean?
honestly, what I looked at before is this wasn't like an organized sport. Us playing football at the Moke. If Mike did ask me to come one day, which I always knew you, I always knew Joey, I knew Jake from obviously BCCS,
And
I knew
Matt.
Mark and Matt, but I didn't know Paul, I didn't know Liam, I didn't know Ryan Walsh. And that's the thing. Mark asked me to play football one day, and Matt, both of them said, "Hey, do you want to play one day at the Moke?" And I would have never been in this friend group.
Yeah,
I think
That's the thing.
we all
I even take those games
Oh, I was
seriously.
gonna-
No, I
we
take
got-
those.
those games seriously.
Which that's the thing. That's how the friend group formed, though, right? Like Matt went to BLA with Paul, Ryan Walsh, and Liam.
Yep.
Obviously, hung out with Mark all the time. You knew the Hosies very well.
All of my friendships, like literally every single one of them, have sports involved. Like me and Mark are better friends because of the fact that we both just love sports.
Yeah.
But like
You played soccer
I don't
days.
even think we wouldn't even have really talked if sports weren't a thing.
We
Like,
just happen to live across
in
the
our
street
life.
from
Yeah,
each other.
Jake's not a sports guy.
And Jake
got lucky. Jake-
I know.
Spider-Man. He's a Spider-Man fan now.
We played sports
No, when we were
together.
little though, yeah. Me and Jacob were on the same
Baseball
basketball
together.
teams. We were
Yeah,
on the same
baseball, Seven Hill
teams.
baseball, yeah.
I remember Jacob broke his arm in the middle of the basketball season. Dude, we were actually on the Eagles. We were on the Eagles after BC because we were in it was house league. So they did
God.
all the teams were like
Named after
local
colleges,
colleges. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
we were the
awesome.
Eagles, and I actually remember that, dude. You had a broken
That
arm.
was
He had a
wild.
red cast.
Yeah,
And
Spider-Man.
He tried.
Was
He
it Spider-Man? Was it
He
called
tried to
Spider-Man?
play. He tried to play.
It
Dude,
was
he actually
me.
did look like Spider-Man because we had.
He does look like him.
Dude, we had blue
like
jerseys
this.
though. We had blue jerseys, and he had his red cast. And dude, he legit looked like Spider-Man out there. Dude, and he tried
Love
to
it.
play though. He tried to play because he wasn't.
That's a dog in him. He's got that clipper in him.
He wasn't
He's
really
got
a
that clipper
shooter.
in him.
He wasn't really a shooter anyway, so they weren't worried about the shot with the
I'll
cast.
never
But
forget.
him trying to dribble with that thing on was hilarious.
My dad would, when we played together at Seven Hill, my dad, the analogy that my dad would put together so that I would hit a ball, he's like, just pretend that the Green Goblin's throwing a pumpkin ball. And I'm like, all right, Dad. And I missed every single time. But it was awesome.
I remember Jacob
used to get up to hit against Henry Ennin, who pitched
That kid was like,
Northeastern, he's elite.
yeah.
you know that's
He hit 94 or 95.
Bro, yeah. So
Northeastern,
Jacob,
94.
when we were little in like 12,
Gas.
he was throwing like 62 or something,
Oh, no, he got up to 80. He got up to 80 in like 7th grade.
which
yeah.
is gas.
That
He
kid
got
was
up
like,
to 80
When
back
you're
in
that
high
young.
school.
Yeah, dude, he was throwing gas, and Jacob literally would just stand there. And
He's also
be
like 6'2", 6'3", he's a big
dude,
kid.
his
scary.
legs would shake. Dude, I was terrified of
he
hitting
broke a
against Henry
kid's
And you love baseball.
nail
Yeah.
once.
Oh, that's the worst thing you could do. I mean, hit you off the head, you'd probably be out.
No, dude,
That's
he
the worst
threw
thing
gas,
you can
bro.
do.
And I played like summer ball with him too, and like he would like literally just no hit teams like it was nothing. Like he
Scary.
threw gas, and Jacob was terrified.
It was scary.
Jacob's still shaking. Jacob's still shaking. Look at his legs. He's still shaking.
That was a little bit. That's scary.
But yeah, I honestly think sports did bring us all together. I think sports brings everyone together to a degree.
Yeah,
You like
no
sports.
with the gloves.
It's an easy way to start a conversation, right? Me and Liam actually had a pretty funny way we became friends, which I knew you very briefly because I hung out with you once.
Yeah, before
I hung out with
football.
you once playing at the Moke, like with them, just
Uh-huh.
very lightly. We did have a flag football practice. Coach Q had gloves. He had gloves, like a pair of football gloves that he used probably the last like 10 and a half years. Probably
Oh,
never
yeah,
washed at all.
for, like, since I
This
was,
is
like,
like you
6,
put it in
I
a
used to
gym
have
bag,
football
put it in your shoes that like smell awful. You left them in there just to rot.
Right, they're worse than my
He
hot
brought
gloves.
them out. You could smell this from like probably 30 to 40 yards away. You could smell this from a mile. It was bad.
you probably-
Pungent.
They won't press me. They don't want to
I
press
was
me.
just
They
gonna
don't
say
want
you
to
probably had
smoke.
so many interceptions.
They don't want to smoke.
Dude, Coach Q smells. He's like, what is that smell? He said, it smells like ass. He said,
It was
Dude,
so
it's
funny.
It's funny because like
he used the word. He used the word ass.
Dude, yeah, because he's not like a swearer. He
No,
doesn't break
not
the
at all.
rules or
No,
anything.
ever. No.
He said,
He honestly, if he didn't teach at Boston Collegiate, I don't think I would have went to school my senior year. I honestly don't think.
Oh, he's
I
a
would've.
beast.
Dude. I used to go in there, dude, because like he just let me do whatever I want. Like I legit would pat him on the head and be like, I'd be like little boy, and he was my teacher, dude. Like,
What are we doing?
He was like laughing about it with me. He'd be like, "This is hilarious."
He's
And
an
I'm
absolute
thinking it's
goat.
hilarious. Dude, yeah, 'cause
So
he was
Coach
awesome.
Q's a beast.
He was
He's a beast.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
So funny.
He's a dog.
Remember
But-
when he let the fire alarm because of the smoke machine?
Yeah, for Halloween.
Yeah,
He
bro.
took
The whole school would
He
evacuate.
took that
We walked to the pipe
contest-
fitters.
yeah,
We all would have walked to the
he-
pipe fitters
he
because of
took-
him.
Bro, he took that competition so
funny.
seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Dude,
He was competitive, but it
bro,
worked,
and
though.
yeah, that, from
Right, it
sports.
made it- it
From
made it
sports.
better, though. It made
Bro,
the whole
also,
competition better.
also,
He married Miss Peisch.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even think I played for any of his teams.
You played flag football for like a week.
day. Yeah.
And then
Like
you
I never like actually.
Then you went to play soccer,
Was
though,
on one of the
senior year.
teams though. Yeah.
You played for like a false actually. False. My sophomore year of high school, your junior, you played when we scrimmaged you, like me,
Oh,
Joe,
right, I remember hearing
Trevor,
about that, yeah.
Kevin Mannion. We scrimmaged you guys. And do you remember like Coach Hugh was talking it up and everything? That me and you almost fought at that game.
No.
Where I was running my mouth
I
with him, and
believe
you.
it, though.
Here's the thing. Coach Hugh was hyping up that game for like a week, right? And I was in his class, 10th grade. You know, he's a history teacher, and he was saying like, "Oh, like anybody like ready for that game later?" And like I know he's talking about our game, and he's like, and it was me, and I think maybe. Can't remember who was in that class, maybe Kevin or something, and we were just like, dude, he's trying to run his mouth right now. He's so suck. He's like, you guys aren't going to catch a pass, he said, right? He said something like, that game's going to be awful for you guys. Like, I don't know why you guys even want to come. You guys are going to get blown out. First pass of the game, I went like a 30-yard in, caught it, ran to the sidelines, took the ball, put it against his chest. And there's the first catch. I said, there's the first catch. And after that, though, there was no smack talk the entire game. He was saying, like, oh, you guys aren't going to catch a pass today. He was saying, he was smack talking. It's a sports, right? You get into it.
Yeah.
First pass, caught it, and that was unlikely. I went
me
right
and
up,
you-
put the ball to his chest.
Me and you have gone at it. I think I've gone at it with.
Dude, it was
almost
that game.
everybody.
I ran my mouth a little bit with him because I caught a touch on the back of the end zone that I know was a
Dude,
touchdown
me and
catch.
you get personal sometimes. We're like trying to hurt each
Dude,
other's feelings in the middle of games.
you actually
dude.
got in my face.
In
I
the
don't, you don't
middle of
remember this.
games.
You and Ryan Foster were pissed at me because I caught a touchdown. I said it was a touchdown. I knew it was a touchdown. We were up by like 5 with like a minute to go. Kevin McCarthy even admitted it was a touchdown, right? So I was like, oh, it's a touchdown. Dude, Cephas was like, all right, like, yeah, it's a touchdown. Coach Q's arguing it's not a touchdown. I'm saying it's a touchdown. And then I'm going at it with all of you guys. You come over, you push me or whatever. We're like yelling at each other. After I texted you sorry because I was like, dude, like, sorry we got into it.
I was probably
moment.
like, dude, like it was,
We got into
heat
the moment,
like,
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
still my boy. You're
But
still
I
my
was
guy.
running my mouth. It was a touchdown. I remember that.
For a while, Ryan used to know how to get into my head so bad that it was
so
like,
easily.
It was easy, and then I
When-
found out what you would do, and then I'm like.
But when you get that mad and they see
I
it in your
know.
eyes and you're
Dude,
coming over
I don't
yelling
know-
at me,
I
I
don't
knew
know
you were
what it
coming.
is,
We were going at it.
It comes from playing hockey.
It does.
Like when I would play hockey, I got kicked out of like how many games that year?
Not enough.
Bro, I legit was I was such a pest, dude. Like I would say anything. I didn't care.
But the thing is, it didn't matter because we didn't win one game.
Yeah, we weren't good at hockey. So like, honestly, I talked so much shit for someone that like was on the worst team in the league. We were probably the worst team in Massachusetts.
No, we were, but then we won playoffs.
You had a lot of fun, though.
Dude, we somehow win districts.
Against the best team?
Yeah, against the best team. They were supposed to come in and roll us. Like we were supposed to get smoked.
We were down 8.
Yeah, dude, and we come back and win. I'll never forget that night, bro, because, what's his name? The coach. What's his last name?
Coach Q.
Is it Hayes?
No, it's not Hayes.
They're from Milton. They're from Swampscott. No.
Swanham.
Swanham.
Somebody else. Quincy.
I can't
Quincy's
think of the
Swanham.
name.
Yeah,
Quincy's Swanham. Yeah.
D'Angelo?
I don't know.
Poor
No,
Liam
it was
looks like he
his
did have
son
a
was on the
hockey
team,
practice.
too.
Huh? Yeah.
You look like you just came out of whole
Oh, so
hockey
it was
practice
Hayes
sweating.
then.
It was Hayes?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I'll never forget after that game, like, he, like, came up to me and, like, shook my hand and he was like, you're a phenomenal hockey player. Like, this team's lucky to have someone like you on the team. Like, you should be on one of the higher teams. Like, you're just a phenomenal hockey player. And, like,
What happened?
we're just really lucky to have you. And for the rest of that year, bro, he, like, loved me. Like, I was, like, the captain, remember?
Yeah, you were.
Like,
He was a leader.
He was like, yo, like, Ryan's going to say a couple words and we'll get out there. And I'd always be like, come on, boys. Like, you got to work hard. Like, everyone's got to hit today. Like, we got to play physical if we want to hang with these kids.
It was fun when both you and the other Ryan ran into each other, gave each other concussions in practice.
Dude, and then, dude, so his girlfriend goes to my school and I see him up there all the time. But every time I see him, I just think about that. And then, dude, you remember like the week after the helmet box?
Yes.
Dude, he took that like a G though.
No, he did.
I was so mad that he gave me a concussion, bro. But I was like, we're helmet box, and he was like, okay, like I agree, like we kind of have to do this. Like I'm sorry, and I was like, all right, we're doing this. I was like, after this practice, like you're mine.
The best part about that, the most respectable part, is after you guys fought, you got over it, and then a few games later, you get into a fight with someone, get kicked out of the game,
And then he
goes over to that kid and absolutely destroys him.
Yeah,
and he gets kicked
then
out.
me and him are in the locker room together, and it's like not even awkward. We're like boys again. I was like, dude, like good stuff.
I love the hockey talk, though. 1 second, I got to pause this.